The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig!
damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. This sports program starts now.
Football!
Is what we chat about, and it's a glorious Wednesday. That means the week behind us is just too far away. The week ahead of us is around the corner, but it's a little bit far. So today, we'll enjoy conversations about all the happenings around the NFL with some breaking news. A new contract signed in the Cleveland Browns organization. A man who used to be on their team, then went and sought his way around the NFL to see if any other teams wanted his services, goes back to the Cleveland Browns, and Kareem Hunt.
Here we go!
Running back that was a free agent there for a bit, visit New Orleans, and came to the Indianapolis Colts as we are dealing with our Jonathan Taylor running back situation. And in the end, after Nick Chubb's devastating injury on Monday Night Football, Kareem Hunt goes back to the Browns, a system that he knows very well, and we assume he'll be able to pick up right where he left off. Now, Ford will also get the rock, and Strong will probably get the ball as well, but Kareem Hunt certainly adds another element to the Browns after they lose their stud, their star, their focal point in Nick Chubb in devastating fashion. We're happy for Kareem Hunt. We're pumped for him. What does that mean for everything else going around the NFL? We will chat about it. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. 9-year, okay?
Wow.
NFL vet.
Long good.
Host of NFL Matchups, which is on ESPN The Ocho,
right.
ESPN News,
Yep.
ESPN Plus,
Right.
ESPN 2,
Right.
ESPN U.
Right.
He's also host of Man to Man podcast and Yesterday Everything DB. Ladies and gentlemen, every Monday through Wednesday, Darius J. Butler.
What do you got?
And every Wednesday on this beautiful Trenches Wednesday is a guy who hosts In the Trenches, which will happen in the third hour today, where we'll break down some of the big boys from around the NFL to see who we're liking and who we're not liking. Ladies and gentlemen, 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, both player and a coach, AQ Shipley.
Thank you!
Let's go.
AQ, what have we not talked about this week on this particular program that maybe you saw and you think that there needs to be a little bit more attention to?
Well, I think Darius and I talked a little bit about before the show. Scheme means everything, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about later. What McVay, Shanahan,
What?
McDaniel, not the S, McDaniel,
There
not
you go.
McDaniel.
Michael.
Got it?
Yep.
Yeah, because
Those
McDaniels
guys.
lose the Bills big.
Killed.
McDaniel runs the buzzsaw in Miami.
Bingo.
And Artie Smith.
And Artie Smith. See, what's happening is those guys are doing such a good job with the guys up front, and they're not putting the line in one-on-one situations all day long, and that is why they're able to do so many good things on offense, because they can run the ball, and then they put their offensive line in positions where they don't have to be in one-on-one pass protection all game long.
Yeah, because some of these coaches, you see an offensive line that is maybe terrible, and it's like, well, they're set up to be terrible here. We're not running the rock ever. You're not allowing the offensive lineman to have any type of leverage pre-snap. There's no movement that maybe even shifts the D-line right before snap, so they're not just ears pinned back, off and running. Speaking of, we'll have J.J. Watt join us today. Yeah, we got a lot of his film that he wants to kind of break down around the NFL. I believe it's going to be a little bit of Micah. I believe it's going to be a little bit of TJ. I believe it's going to be a little bit about the Miami Dolphins defense down there. I believe there's going to be some chitter chatter about that, and also some historic references in there. We got Jason Kelsey joining us.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, this is a
Come
big
on.
deal. Is this the first time he's been on the show?
I think so. Yeah. Really?
Obviously, we've been a fan of his from afar. The Kelsey family is beautiful. They're a couple of Ohio
Yeah.
folks.
Yep. Folks.
Guys, dogs. There it is. That is what, they're Ohio dogs who have obviously gone on to do great things.
Yep.
I watched the Kelsey documentary last night on Amazon Prime. He's Legend.
So good.
Absolute legend. They tell his life story, obviously, but then they chit-chat about him being like the most revered Philadelphia Eagles player in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
He is beloved over there, and there's easy reason why. On the field, he's incredible at what he does. Undersized, right, which I think Philadelphia appreciates because they have that underdog mentality, but he also fights through everything. The first scene of this documentary is pretty much all the injuries that he has.
Yes.
Okay, I got an elbow, 2 fingers, a knee, a hip, my foot, my ankle, currently
Toes.
broke right now, toes. He's doing everything and then still fighting through, and they go all the way to the Super Bowl. And then they launched the New Heights podcast between the two of them, and it's the #1 sports podcast on earth for good reason. They have incredible personalities. So Jason Kelsey will be on today in about 15 minutes. I do believe he confirmed some news on a morning show this morning in Philadelphia.
Yes, he did.
About his brother's dating life.
Really?
Now, we will not make that the focal point of our conversation with Jason Kelsey, although we will throw,
Couple lines.
at least a question or two about it.
Have to.
And he could have been trolling. We all understand that is something that Ohio football guys could potentially do. But Jason Kelsey will be joining us today. J.J. Watt will be joining us today. Chris Carter will be joining us today.
Wow.
And then tomorrow, Travis Kelsey.
Okay.
Okay, so we got a little Kelsey party here in the middle of the week we're very lucky for. So, I assume there's going to be some things that come out about football out of all these conversations. Out of pop culture.
There it is.
Out of all these conversations and everything else. I would recommend the Jason Kelsey documentary, though, on Prime. I think they got incredible access. They showcased a lot of good things. And his family was really cool to watch. He's got 2 little baby girls. As somebody who has a baby girl right now that is not at the stage of doing what his girls were doing, all it did was just make me pumped and excited about what is to come. And also have nothing but respect for him, the man, the football player, the husband, the dad, you name it. I love this guy. We're lucky to be chatting with him here in a little bit. Let's talk about some news around the NFL. I alluded to it. Kareem Hunt signs a 1-year deal to go back to the Cleveland Browns worth up to $4 million. Now, we didn't know what the market was for Kareem Hunt, especially after the Dalvin Cook deal, Saquon situation, Josh Jacobs situation, Jonathan Taylor situation, Najee Harris situation, everything going on in the running back market. We didn't know if Kareem Hunt was holding out for big money. He gets $4 million deal. He goes back to a system he knows. This feels like the right play for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, losing Nick Chubb is a heartbreaker. Kareem Hunt back there made sense immediately.
Absolutely. Nick Chubb is my favorite running back in the NFL. The way he runs the ball with that offensive line is incredible. The scheme, Kareem Hunt already knows. He's a dog. He was one of the best in the league for a long time. He goes back to a system in which he knows. You put him right in there, and he is going to make a difference immediately.
I think he's an Ohio guy too, right? Isn't that a thing?
Toledo.
Yeah, he's from Ohio, I do believe. So he is, born, bred in the elements. And he hasn't made great decisions all the time, but whenever he's on a football field, he's very good. Normally a part of a tandem back there.
Yes.
Normally a part of a duo. He'll be the focal point now, Debo. What do you think?
Yeah, we assume so. And, you got Ford in there, obviously, so give him probably a couple weeks to get his legs up under him. No training camp. We would think that he's been taking care of himself, as a pro away from the building. But I think it's a win-win. You get a guy who, once again, knows the system, who can not only run the ball, but he's good out of the backfield as well. You can dump it down to him as a receiver. And now, 1 year prove-it deal for him. Guys that's not that old. And maybe he can get some more money on the open market next year.
Thought he was coming to the Colts. I thought he was coming to the Colts. Colts obviously have a chance going to win championship. We have the same record as the Browns.
That's true.
So just everybody
true.
needs to make sure we keep things under control whenever we're talking about expectations to where you lose Nick Chubb. One guy going to be able to come in and fix it? No. Maybe a group of people will be able to do it. Kareem just sitting there, though, on the market, knowing their offense. I assume Andrew Barry, the GM over there, was like, got to do it, got to make it happen. I wonder if Kareem knew that, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Leverage-wise. You guys need me right now.
I got other offers on the table,
what I mean?
too.
Sure he did.
The Saints, they flew me all the way down there. I didn't go in their building. You know why? Because the Colts called me and said, hey, don't go in their building. I got a good offer for you up here in Indianapolis. Now, he comes to Indianapolis. Colts let him out of the building. No deal in sight, no conversation either. Then they were talking about, well, maybe it's a physical. Maybe he didn't pass physical. Maybe he's not in good shape. Maybe it was a contract dispute. Whatever the case was, Colts and Kareem Hunt were not able to get a deal done. He goes over to Cleveland, and then there was reports he's working out right now.
Yeah.
And then there was no news. So then it started, on the internet, people started, he must not be in shape. There must be some sort of physical issue because of what happened at Indianapolis. Then whenever they sign him and announce him, I assume that was a weight off of Kareem Hunt's shoulders too. Now the game's over. Now we're not playing the field anymore. Now we're not working angles, leverage things. We're back in the right spot. Good for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, and he's the opposite of Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong. Like Pierre Strong, he was drafted to New England, and he's always been a scat back. I think he ran like a 4.28 at the combine. Yeah, flies. He was the fastest running back last year. And Jerome Ford, I mean, allegedly they've loved him since
He
day
looked
one.
good.
Yeah,
he
wanted
was
him
good
to be, kind of that third down role. So Hunt's the opposite. I mean, you can put him in 3rd and 1, short yardage gains, obviously, but then they'll probably still give Ford a lot of time. It almost feels like he's still the starter and Cream's coming in to be that number 2 like he was with Chubb.
Pass protection too. Like he knows all of that, and all the other guys are younger too. And he was their 3rd down back with Chubb there, so he's obviously really good at pass protection and stuff like that. So I assume that's a huge part of it too, because their pass protection as far as the running back was concerned was not great when Chubb went out.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson,
Oh, yeah.
he looked better. Okay,
He can move.
He looked better than I feel like each game he has looked better. When will he get back to the Deshaun Watson that was being told like, "Hey, you are being wasted here in Houston with how talented you are, how great you are, how everything that you do on a football field." Okay.
Yes.
Little caveat.
Well, it has to be chatting about that. 2 years off, though.
Long time.
That's a long time. But, bro, I don't want to bring this up just because everybody brings it up all the time about quarterbacks. But, if Colin Kaepernick, who people still are saying, hey, he deserves a shot, he's been out for, 8 years?
Long time.
If you can stay in game shape and, mental sharpness shape for 8 years without being in a building and still be NFL ready, hell, that's the greatest superhero of all time.
Good on you.
That's why I hope there comes a time where a team says, yeah, all right, we'll do it. Here you go. Colin Kaepernick's out there. And if he proves that he's been able to remain, you know what I mean? I hope a team goes, yeah, all right.
Doubt it.
We'll do it. We'll
Put him right in the Hall of Fame if he plays well.
If he plays well after an 8-year hiatus, it would be one of the most impressive things of all time. You see guys miss 1 year, never be able to get back to it. And that 2 years he was out pretty much, and then everything that was going on, and he has not been able to find. Will he be able to get back to it, I wonder? He's still young enough to be able to do it, but 2 years away from a building, away from a game, away from the discipline, away from the pressures of going through, it's it's a different ballgame.
Just playing football.
Yes.
Even Dalvin Cook, who's been, great for a long time in the league. He missed training camp. He still doesn't really look like himself yet, because that's why it's so impressive that a guy like, Nick Bosa or Chris Jones to get out there. I know they're playing D-line is different, but just get out there and hit the ground running. That's hard to do. I don't care how hard you work out, what type of workouts you do. There's nothing like actually playing live rep football. So it's going to be tough to do. But, Deshaun, before, when we saw him playing in Houston, when he got his second deal, he was easily a top 3 to 5 quarterback. Still young. You got to think at some point you can figure it out. But, that clock is ticking.
Bro, 2 years away from the game coming back is a lot. We started asking that question when he was 1 year.
Yeah.
When he was 6 months removed, he wasn't even practicing. Remember, he was showing up at practices wearing wasn't even on the field.
No,
this is
he's
before
chilling.
everything, just sitting there. And it's all right, is he throwing a football anywhere? I know he's not doing it at the practice. Is he working himself? And then one thing leads to another. Then we start learning more and more. It's well, this is super serious. This is very, very bad stuff going on. And then 2 years happen, and they're all right, now you're back in. It's if he was able to pick that up, that would have been incredible. Just like Cap, just like all these people. Hopefully, it's nothing for Kareem, and he's dropped back in. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a guy who is going to go down as, the original capital of the United States of America.
Right.
Is a city in Pennsylvania called Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know Philadelphia, you know it's a sports city. That's
big time.
They love their sports over there. This guy, from the way it looked like to me while watching the documentary, is the most well-liked guy in the history of sports, in the history of Philadelphia, for good reason. On the field, going to go down as the greatest of all time. If not one, then two. Who's doing the arguing? I'll say one. Somebody else might have other things. Brings a championship to Philadelphia. Gives one of the greatest Super Bowl parade speeches of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now he has the #1 sports podcast on earth with his brother. Ladies and gentlemen, just an Ohio dog,
Right.
Jason Kelsey.
Hell of an intro, Pat. I appreciate that.
Hey, I think this is your first time on the show, man. I'm jacked up. The boys are jacked up. We appreciate you making time. Jason, we do.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy we finally got this together. Been a long time waiting for this one.
So I watched.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you for joining us. I watched a documentary last night on Prime to prepare for this, and I was only going to watch 5 to 10 minutes or whatever. I was going to try to get to bed early. I am a girl dad now. Got a busy stuff. I'm trying to fall asleep. I was captivated by it, man. This was very, very well done. I assume you had some fears when you signed up for doing something like this, as intrusive as it was, and then once you saw the outcome of it, I assume you had to be happy about it.
Yeah, I think when we first signed up to do it, we were actually going to do it on transitioning out of the NFL was the idea. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do after football. Still don't really know fully what I was going to do. And I think, as we kind of went through it, we felt like we had a story with last season alone. And we ended up getting NFL Films on board. A bunch of people fell into place where, it felt like there was a really, really good story as is with the family, with the fans, with my wife, my kid, like everything. So it all kind of fell in differently than we expected. But you're right. Yeah. I was nervous up until the premiere, the launch day. Like, on some level, you're happy with it, and that's enough. But you're also still kind of, what are people going to think? We put ourselves out there. We try to be as real as possible, and we're definitely happy with the reception it's got.
Well, I want to let you know, I appreciate you doing it because I think you gave a glimpse at what it is like to be an NFL guy, even more to people that have fallen in love with the sport, fallen in love with the league, and only see you guys on game day. I mean, literally, you with your ankle, playing with your kids, not being able to move. Like, people see that, and they're like, okay, we appreciate what these guys are putting themselves through to entertain all of us. And the way you've maintained just so much energy and a positive attitude and loyalty, and your style of play is one where you got to be fast. I had no idea your ankle was as bad as it was last year in that documentary with how you played on the field. And you said, I'm full of a bunch of anti-inflammatories. I think that's why the end is near. Toradol is the greatest. Toradol is the
Vitamin T. You know that. Yeah. Can't beat that.
It is. Was that all season, though? Because I don't know if the doc covered all season. Your ankle seemed to be like very, very, very bad.
It was a grade 2, maybe like a grade 1+ high ankle, right? So luckily I've torn that ligament before. So when it tears for a second time, it doesn't really swell up as much. But it was bad during the week. On game day, as you know, you get it to where it needs to be. Luckily, I'm not a receiver or a running back, have to do all this cutting. I can kind of tape that thing up there pretty rock solid and just kind of,
No, we don't believe that. You're running like a running back every single play. That's why the Eagles offense is what it is. So I just want to let you know, very impressed with your toughness and very appreciative of everything. I think we just lost power.
Yes, we did.
But you're still on.
Clock went out as well for a second.
That's good. Who knows if we're out there or not? Did you see that?
I did.
You brought the electricity down over here with how great you were.
Whoa.
So let's talk about one last thing from the documentary. Your wife and you telling your story of how you guys come together, obviously, is awesome. Meeting on Tinder. Yeah, go ahead.
A tale as old as times.
It really is. But I want to let you know this, and I assume you've heard this because of her appearance on New Heights and everything like that. But like my wife, massive fan of your wife. I think everybody that's ever played in the NFL, their significant others, massive fans of your wife. I think the world, big fans of your wife. Now, we are wondering if your wife is enjoying the celebrity status. Is she going to take over the world? It feels like she is maybe one of the coolest humans walking this earth, and you, the same thing. We got a celebrity power couple between you two. Everybody's talking about your brother. Obviously, you are as well, but everybody's talking about you two. You and your wife are becoming a celebrity couple right now as we speak, I think, pal.
Yeah, I'm the Ian Rappaport, Travis Kelce right now. No, I think my wife is she's been in hiding for a long time. I think one of the best things about the documentary is that everybody got to see just everything she does, everything she goes through, and the tremendous person and wife that she is. And, I don't think I don't know if she's happy or upset about it. She's not the type of person that likes the spotlight. She's not the type of person that seeks that out. But I think that it's awesome, the amount of reception she's gotten and the amount of other wives, the people, moms out there, wives out there that have been able to, assimilate, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
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 So
relate.
I think it's relate. There we go.
Yeah.
Relate with her. And I think a lot of people saw that. So.
Okay, So let's talk about this. You're going to the Hall of Fame, and every Hall of Fame speech involves a guy saying to their wife, I wasn't around enough, I do apologize. To their kids, I wasn't around enough, I do apologize. It feels like watching you at home, that's a massive deciding factor on how long you're going to play for alongside your body as well. You were talking about retiring going into last year with how it went and reception and how you played. You're back again. Is that just going to be an every year thing that you're going to have to think about, or how are you going to process that?
Yeah, I'm going to take it one at a time. One at a time, just, feel where we're at physically, mentally, emotionally, and whether you can make that type of commitment because it does take away from your family, especially when you take in all the other things that I'm doing off the field. And, being around family, as you just said, Pat, there's so many of our colleagues, coaches, players that weren't around their families or weren't able to compete and succeed at the highest level. And that happens, I'd imagine, in anything, not just football, right? And you want to be the best at anything in the world. It takes time and commitment. And, I think that balance of being there for my family, being there for the girls and my wife is the number one most important thing to me. And as long as I still feel like I can do that while also selfishly a little bit striving to compete and be the best in the world at something, I'm going to try and do that. But, once you get married, once you have kids, all that other stuff takes a big time second seat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. And watching you and your kids was cool. I just had my first daughter, so watching you interact, and you're obviously incredibly sore. You turned a corner in the kitchen, I think, and started yelling at one of your daughters. I was like, this guy loves being a dad, man. Like, I can't wait to do that. I was enjoying it. But let's talk about on the football field. AQ Shipley, who's a big fan of yours, has a question for you, Jason.
Hey, Q, what up?
What's up, Jason? Good to see you. You obviously know the respect I have for you, but one of the questions, you got Tampa Bay this week. You got Vita Vea.
Yeah.
We all know about Vita Vea. He's an absolute monster. You've played against him before. You've played against the Aaron Donald types. Let's go into your mind a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about how does your mindset and technique change from week to week when you're going against an Aaron Donald body type and then a Vita Vea body type?
Well, I was actually hoping you'd give me some technique tips, seeing as you were teammates with the guy. There's not much you can do for Vita, but I think you're always assessing what type of player the guy is. What are his strengths? What are his skill sets? What moves does he like to do? Every technique that offensive lineman has kind of has a weakness, has a weak spot. So, when you're playing a player, you're trying to factor in, okay, is this a power guy? If he's power, I can go for leverage right away, try and stop his momentum, get him situated at the line of scrimmage. Maybe that'll negate some of that. If it's a speed guy, a finesse guy, he's trying to work edges, I can sit back a little bit more, get ready to move my feet and stay in front of them and maybe go with a little bit wider hands. The guys that are tricky, unfortunately, are the guys that have both of those. And Vita is certainly, although he's 350 plus, he's got plenty of quickness and agility at the same time, which is why he's such a perennial, player that he is. It's going to be a match back and forth all game, I'm sure. He's one of the guys that you look forward to going to because it's going to be a test. I think you kind of go into it getting ready to see how the game unfolds, go into it with a strategy, and then see how it's playing out.
The guys tell you how much they enjoy your podcast whenever you're playing against them, like Vita Vea and you, and he's like, hey, it's good podcast. Is that happening?
Dude, they do. It is weird. It is weird in the middle of a game. Other guys bringing up the podcast. Like Dahn didn't really mention it during the game, but immediately following the last play was right on top of it. I mean, it's been cool to see the respect and the amount of other guys across the league that enjoy the clips and watching the show for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yep.
It's an incredible. Your show is like in the documentary. You show you filming the first one, and at the end, which I appreciated, you said, "For those that watch this whole thing, like we're sorry, because we feel that way about this show still to this day." But you said we're going to get better at this. And I want to let you know, I don't know if you got better, or if you just did the same thing for the amount of stuff. You guys got like the greatest show going. And I don't think you expected that. Truly. I don't think you genuinely thought that was going to be the case after watching it all unfold behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, we struck lightning in a bottle a bit. Both of our teams go to the Super Bowl in year one. That definitely helps the viewership out. But, I think we didn't know what to expect. We knew that we were getting involved with a company and production team that was really savvy with social media and making these clips and everything to get it, that it was going to get seen. We didn't know if we were going to be any good at it. We definitely didn't think we were any good at it. Still don't know if we're good at it, but people seem to like it.
Yeah, you are good. You are. You're great. You're great. Not just good. It's great.
But, I think, we've been talking about that for a number of years, starting a show or starting a podcast, and seeing guys like you, seeing Bussin, seeing a lot of players that went on to start their own thing in the media world and have so much success. kind of gave us the, hey man, let's just freaking do this, man. I feel like it's going to be fun. If it's successful, that's great. If it's not successful, hey, we're just chopping it up anyway. So I think, dude, seeing the success that you guys have had, a lot of the former players, current players doing it, it's been awesome, man, and it's only going to keep happening. So it's great.
Yeah, it is.
Way to pave the way, Pat.
No, shut up. Shut up. I don't want to hear
I'm
it.
serious, man.
Stop, Jason. Stop. I don't need to hear that.
It's hard to believe. When was the last time we actually ran into each other? Was it at the Pro Bowl in like Arizona or like? I don't know. We were chopping it up, and then
Might have been the Super Bowl.
Every time we've been around each other, we have drank every single time.
Well, that's a common theme anywhere I'm at, but it's been remarkable seeing this, man. So well done, brother.
Well, I appreciate that. Very lucky for it. But I think like there's so many guys that are talented at it, and I think if we can be something that'll help people say like, yeah, if that show could do it, we can do it. I appreciate being that. I'm lucky to be that. But we're thankful that your show has come into the football world. It's been fantastic. Lightning in a bottle for sure, but also like you're like greatest center of all time. He's like greatest tight end of all time. That's also potential lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Gotcha.
There's just like so many things that kind of stack on top of each other. We're appreciative of you doing it. Let's go back to Philadelphia now. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Jason, last year we had Coach Sirianni on, and we mentioned you, and he kind of said, it was when you didn't know if it, taking it year by year. He basically said like, hey, I'll do whatever it takes to make sure he comes back. He said that however many kegs of beer he needed to get you, like he was going to make sure he did that to get it done. So I'm just curious, has he made good on that? And also, what evolution have you seen in him from that first press conference where everyone's kind of like, oh man, this guy certainly appears to be a doofus. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing until now, and he's one of the most respected coaches in the NFL.
I think, first of all, he has made good. Each and every offseason so far, I've gotten a keg. And it's sat out back, and it's gotten plenty of use in those early months trying to decide. So I appreciate that from Coach Sirianni. But, I think that first press conference, it's funny looking back, when nobody really knew who Nick was or how he worked or how he operated, and, got absolutely destroyed by the Philadelphia media, which that's really easy to do. I think
Not just the Philadelphia media. Hey.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But, it's funny because the way he did that press conference kind of epitomizes a little bit how he is as a coach. And dude, he's just always going, always where it's almost like his mouth can't catch up to like where his brain is going in the conversation a little bit. And you see that a lot, I guess, when guys are doing their first press conference for sure. But man, we have some of the most purposeful, meaningful team meetings. He's always never missing a point to make a coaching point, whether it's about game management, whether it's about plays we're running. Like he says it so much that he can ask Fletcher Cox sometimes what play you think we're running, and Fletch knows. You know what I mean? It's this constant. He just loves coaching ball. He's a football guy. He loves being around the team. He loves being in the position he's in, and it comes through and comes across in everything he does. And I'm really happy for the amount of success we've had so far with him. And just that everybody's gotten to witness kind of who he is firsthand.
Now, with that being said, Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Jason, obviously now that you guys went to the Super Bowl last year, the expectations in Philly are a little different. I think we can all, acknowledge the fact that the Philadelphia 76ers have had a lot of expectations, and it hasn't gone exactly perfect, and the fans don't react exactly perfect. And in your first home game last week, end of the first quarter, you're up 3-0. Start to hear some boos. How has that been in Philly now that you guys are every single year, hey, Super Bowl or bust? And at some points on the bench, you're like, all right, guys, like, Jesus Christ, we're winning this game. Can we just relax in the stands a little bit or what?
I mean, I'm used to it. I've been in Philly this is my 13th season. I remember the first home game back after 2017 year when we won the Super Bowl, getting booed that first home game. I mean, the Philadelphia fans and media are not going to sugarcoat anything. They're going to tell you how you feel. If you're not performing well, if you're not doing things up to the standard that we all hold ourselves to, you're going to be let known of that very vibrantly. So, it's a diehard blue collar sports town that demands excellence and perfection from its sports teams. It demands hard work. It demands energy. It demands a certain mentality. And, the expectations are whatever. I try to avoid that. Nick preaches that, we're climbing a mountain. We're starting at the bottom of it. Every day you got to earn it. Every practice you got to earn it. You come out, and right now we have not performed up to our expectations through the first 2 weeks, and obviously not the fans' expectations through the first 2 weeks. So, it's something that we're continually going to try and improve on and get back to playing at the level we know we can play. We got the horses to do it. We got the guys to do it. In our mind, it's only a matter of time before it starts clicking again, the way it has in the past. I think we got better week 1 to week 2, especially offensively. So I look forward to getting back in there tomorrow and getting ready for this Monday game.
Hey, 13 years in Philly, 13 years in the NFL at a very high level. Like, what is it about some teams that just like kind of got to refine it? Because we look at your pieces, we're like, all right, everybody's back seemingly, so they should just pick up right where they were last year. What do you think about that kind of take, and why is it not like that?
Well, no year is going to be the same. Defenses have adjusted. All the teams that were playing have made acquisitions, coaching changes. They've changed their philosophy slightly. They maybe greatly. Defenses are going to be different this year. Offenses are going to be different. This is the way the league works. It's constantly evolving. There's so many factors that take place that are necessary to go to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, right? And like, you got to be healthy. You got to have great players offensively and defensively across the board. You have to have a great quarterback. You have to have coaches that are ahead of the game a little bit. Yeah. I mean, there's all these things that are necessary for you to be the best in the world. It's not just any one thing. And, we have all of these pieces. I firmly believe that, but getting them all gelling the way they were last year at the end of the year, that takes some time, and that takes and it's going to continue to be a process throughout the year. Teams that are doing great right now, they're going to have to keep staying on top of it to be where they want to be at the end of the year, just like we got to be where we want to be at the end of the year. So I think there's so many different things that need to happen for you to reach your full potential as a team and as a unit. And we're starting over at square one. Doesn't matter who's coming back. Doesn't matter what coaches are here, what players are here, who's leading the front office. It always starts over.
Hey, listening to your press conferences throughout the year last year, you sound like this grumpy old man, Yeah. Like, it was like these press conferences they're in the middle. They're like intermittently placed through the dock. And at the beginning, he's just like not playing great. And like, oh, we might be. I don't know. Like, just get. But I think those types of situations are why you are beloved by the city of Philadelphia so much. I don't think I fully comprehended that. I assumed that a human like you would be loved in any city that you play at because you're hardworking, hilarious, drink beers, greatest at your position. So I assume you'd be loved anywhere. But it feels like you and Philadelphia are like a perfect marriage. Obviously, you feel that way. And when did it start being like that?
When I got drafted to Philadelphia, my agent, Jason Bernstein, immediately said, you're going to fit in fucking great here, man. You're going to love Philadelphia. Sorry, I know if I'm.
Your language is terrible. But that wasn't you. That was him. That was Bernstein.
There we go.
Yeah, that's right.
So it wasn't me. This is a verbatim.
Yeah, what do you want? We're journalists. Sorry.
But, being from Cleveland, right? Being from a steel town, Pittsburgh, like being from a industrial blue collar area, I think there's a lot of similarities from where I come from and what I enjoyed out of the athletes that I rooted for growing up and what I held as to, the qualities and things that rang true to me, I think ring true in Philadelphia. I think the things that my father instilled in me, hard work, aggression, wear your heart on your sleeve, all of these things translate to the city of Philadelphia, just like they translate to a lot of these blue collar cities that were the backbone of this country for a long time.
Isn't it awesome too? Your brother is like a blue collar dude who just so happens to have ridiculous fashion.
Yeah, he's got both. Trav is quite the chameleon, man. He can fit in with any crowd, man.
And I think that's why the New Heights podcast is amazing. I think you guys need to keep going, and we can't wait to watch you play center for the Philadelphia Eagles for another 10 years.
Hell yeah.
10 more kegs. You're the man. Hey, have a great day. We appreciate you taking some time here.
Pat, man, it's been an honor. Anytime you need me, man, I'd be happy to come on. I appreciate it. Take care, brother.
Hey, this was it. We found a picture, by the way. AQ found us. AQ's at 320 there.
Yeah!
There we go.
Yeah, you and AQ play the same position there.
I know.
Not anymore.
Now it's reversed now. now AQ's all skinny up, man. He looks good.
What do you weigh,
Look at
Jason?
that.
What do you weigh?
About 300 right now. I'm heavier than I've been in the past. Yeah. As I get older, it gets easier to hold the weight on. But in that picture, I think that was like right end of the Chip Kelly era. I was probably 275. I'm not lying.
Damn.
Like,
I might be
yeah.
325.
Yeah. AQ was not at the Chip Kelly era. No, he was not there. All right. We appreciate the hell out of you, man. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Future Hall of Famer, GOAT, host of New Heights podcast, and also the subject of the greatest doc I've seen in some time on Prime, Kelsey. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Kelsey. He swore on a show, but it wasn't him. It was his agent.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what happens
Bernstein.
to you sometimes too.
Yeah, I quote
Coaches. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
What are you going to do?
Coaches and agents, they have potty mouth.
But at the beginning of the show, I mean, it's very clear to say, hey, that's how adults talk.
Exactly.
You know, speaking of adults talking, let's go to Kyle Shanahan chit-chatting about Thursday Night Football as a whole. And thank you to Jason, by the way.
Thank you, Jason.
Everything I said about him in there is true.
Yes.
I genuinely love that dude. I love his family. I appreciate the fact that New Heights podcast has had the success that it's had because it makes me laugh. Like, I watch clips of it. I enjoy it. And I've known them for a long time. Me and Travis have known each other a long time. Jason and I have known each other a while. And seeing what they have done, not only because they're electrifying and blue-collar folks, which I think we are immediately
Good shout out
attracted to,
there,
which
yeah.
is that type of thing. But, like, greatest tight end of all time.
Yeah.
Greatest center of all. Can I say he's the greatest center of all time, AQ?
He's in that conversation.
Who else would be in there?
I mean, there's so many guys from
AQ
the olden
Shipley.
days. I mean, you could throw Pouncey in that conversation, right?
Bert?
Like he had a great career. I mean, it's Mike Webster.
Rest in
Keep
peace.
coming. Greg, keep going.
Steelers had some guys.
Dermontti
Dermontti
Dawson.
Dawson.
Thank you.
Yeah. You see how I keep using this microphone too?
Yeah, it's not plugged in. Just a gimmick. But
Pretty good.
But he's in the conversation for sure.
Yeah, there's going to be people that are going to argue, I guess, because their favorite center is doing it, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, he's the guy, right? He does everything. Power. He can pull better than most people have. He can pull better than most tackles, right? In that.
He's super athletic. He's powerful. When you watch him play, I mean, even when he was 275, watch the leg drive in the run game. It's incredible. He's so consistent, and the big thing we talk about is being available. I mean, the guy's always.
And we didn't even talk about the tush push at all. 92% success. That's right, literally over his ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? That is him having to do. This year, did you see they did a little different this year?
Yeah.
did.
He delayed. So last year, the big thing was he's going to get underneath everybody because of how athletic he is. This year, he's letting them try to get under, and then he is just moving them like this. I was like, oh, that's like, they say this tush push is rugby and amateur and bush league and everything like that. It's like, actually, it seems like they have a couple different.
Mix it up.
They have a couple different ways to go about doing it. There's levels to this shit whenever it comes to that. And that's all because Jason Kelsey, I assume. The reason why they're doing that is because he has the ability to do something better than every other center has ever been able to do in the past.
He's incredible at that, and that whole group has been incredible. I mean, that group's been together for a while. The O-line coach has been there, and the stability there has been incredible. And when you get that wedge, everybody goes towards the center, so you create this just V gap. It's incredible.
Flying V.
Yeah,
Here
it's
we go.
incredible.
We've seen it.
Quack, quack.
How good was that?
Oh, my God. Every time.
When they started skating
Yep.
Oh my God.
and finding that formation.
Yeah.
Conway leading the break.
Oh, my God.
Passing the puck.
Game,
between.
set, match.
Yeah.
God. The goalie's the shooter. What a good idea.
I know.
Genius.
Crazy that they could actually get his pads on during that timeout, have him switch out of his gear into the goalie pads.
And then the other team not notice.
Exactly.
Because like, those, I mean, I don't know the hockey community well enough. It seems like they're a bunch of dipshits. So they couldn't tell that was not the,
Right.
you know what I mean? In football, that would be like, hey, brand new goalie. There.
Got one.
I think we just got to dump one on net. We're going to be good.
Hey, no.
Wait, that's the shooter.
Yeah.
Somebody would have been able to know.
The previous goalie was a white guy, and now he's black. What the hell's going on?
None of the parents in the crowd never said anything.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
That's crazy to look back on.
Fools.
I'm happy the Ducks won. I mean, they're playing against a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
They didn't even study film.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah.
No one talks about that.
How about Bombay? Huh?
Man.
What a coach.
What a coach.
Forced into it, too.
Yeah.
All right, what
Absolute tactician.
He's a
was.
booze bag, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why he was there.
Yeah,
I mean,
practice.
sometimes.
Oh, he wanted to drink a little. Sue him.
Sometimes you got to drink a few dragons before you can get to your princess.
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean?
That's right.
He had to drink his dragons and demons down so that he would find his actual purpose in calling. And that was coaching a hockey team. Was playing against a bunch of stupid hockey teams.
Yeah.
They are so dumb. They didn't notice that was. How about the Bash Brothers doing it?
Oh,
Man.
my God.
God, you need them on your team, setting the tone.
Yeah, that's right.
You need them setting the
You've
tone.
been asking that for Sid for years now.
Yeah, can we just hire a Bash Brothers for Sidney
Exactly.
Crosby? Just don't want to get too far off topic, even though we've gone pretty far here.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby's delivering season tickets to Pittsburgh
Always
Penguins
does.
fans around the city of Pittsburgh.
That was cool.
That's why the Pittsburgh Penguins are the greatest organization in the entire NHL. You'd never see the stupid Detroit Red Wings do
No, you
something
wouldn't.
like that. You know why? Because nobody's buying season tickets. That's
All
why.
right, take it easy. Hockey season's coming up, and we're not there yet, okay?
Yeah.
I actually love this
you,
move by
Sid.
Sid, though. I have to admit it.
I love it. Sid wore his actual jersey.
Yeah.
Showed up at old Cuzzy's house. The whole family was there. That's Sidney Crosby. Lady's crying.
She's crying.
That's actually him. I go, she got to see on the chest. She's wearing a jersey. Oh my God, live in color here. Handshake. Hi, I'm Sid. I'm Sid. I'm Sid. It's
Get a hug?
amazing.
Oh, no.
You get a hug?
Came in and no, he came in and had
Oh,
dinner.
the lady
She even get a
crying.
handshake?
Who, the lady?
I think she
Gave her
It was
a
a big
hug.
hug. It was a big
That's the
hug.
most Pittsburgh hill town
No
of
doubt.
all time.
Yeah, by the way, that is what Pittsburgh looks like. That is the entire city.
All over.
Is that Squirrel Hill?
That could literally be 55 towns. That right there. That's set
so
up.
true.
It is a beautiful place. Anyways, all right, let's talk about coaches in the NFL. We are obviously former players that chit-chat. Now, not all of us, but most of us, former players that chit-chat. The Thursday Night Football game has been something that's been discussed from a player safety standpoint for a long time. A lot of players, especially the bigger boys, the offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, the linebackers, those who are doing hand-to-hand, head-to-head combat every single play, normally take a little bit longer to get recovered after a game on Sunday where there's 70 full speed reps or 65, 80, whatever it is. Normally by like Wednesday, some guys, end of the season, just getting up out of bed, able to walk because of the soreness in their ligaments and joints and everything like that. So whenever Thursday Night Football becomes this big focal point, it's like some guys, that's their first day literally being able to walk from the last game. Now we're going to throw them out there in the full speed again. Could set up for some disaster.
Yeah.
We still feel that way, although a lot of players have gotten on board with this because 3-day weekend on the other side. So it's a little bit of a gift and a curse. Haven't really talked much about how coaches feel about Thursday Night Football games because the players have kind of always been the conversation. Here's Coach Kyle Shanahan of the San Francisco 49ers, who hosts the New York Giants on Thursday night, talking about the Thursday schedule for a Thursday Night Football game.
Yes. You feel extremely rushed. I saw the players a few hours ago, and it was the first time I saw them. I told them it was Wednesday morning, and by the end of our first meeting, it was Thursday. That's kind of how we explained it. And tomorrow morning is Friday, but by 10 o'clock, it's the day before the game. So it's weird. We're throwing 4 days into 2 days. As coach and staff, we throw 2 days into 1 day. So it's kind of a loss for words when I can't swear up here. It's a something show. As we do it, but then it's about retaining it when it slows down. Like, we got to put them all through it, the players, so we just throw it all at them. We go out and walk through it twice. We go watch it. It's just, and then it'll slow down tonight when they leave, but that's usually about sleeping and catching up. And then tomorrow, kind of when you get to the hotel, it's like, all right, now it's normal, even though it's not. But now it's Saturday night, and slow it down a little bit. I always love Thursdays or night games because I think it's important on the day of the game to kind of review your whole week, which is the day before, on all the stuff that came in, so you don't hesitate in the game.
I mean, he was talking a lot of shit about that shit show you described there about Thursday nights. AQ, you were a coach and a player and a big guy. Big guys always hated Thursday Night Football the most. You're a coach now. Obviously, it sounds like coaches hate Thursday Night Football. Your thoughts on why Thursday Night Football games look the way they do? We always talk about these games are bad. These games are bad. These games are bad. Well, maybe because there isn't enough time to put in an actual good plan. Is that a real conversation we should be having?
Yeah, it's kind of a two-parted answer. As a player, I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, you don't get much work in during the week. Most of it's walkthrough. You're getting your body taken care of. You're getting your body worked on all week. The game plan's as simple as can be, and like I said, it's all walkthrough. So, like, from a physical standpoint, it's very easy the whole week up, and then it's the most simplified game plan of the entire year because everything's crammed. He just hit it on the head. Like what he said, everything's like a Wednesday-Thursday split, a Thursday-Friday split, a Friday-Saturday. But what coaches typically do is they start doing this 2 weeks in advance, and you start putting together a simple, hey, what do we do? What's our identity? Hey, let's put together, we might have 130 calls on the play sheet normally. Let's simplify that down to 75, 80 plays of what we do well, where we don't have to do a bunch of moving parts leading into the week.
How about you, D-Buck? Your thoughts on plans and schemes for Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, schemes are pretty simple. And when we played, it was a lot of time there were divisional matchups too, so you were pretty familiar with the other team. Like AQ said, simplified game plan, lighter on you physically. And I honestly looked forward to that long weekend, especially if it was kind of far away from your real bye week. You kind of looked at it as like a mini bye. Earlier in the season, these are much better, and obviously we're not banging around like the big guys, but, running around your muscles, that's when you get massages or whatever you get during the week. You obviously got to condense that all down, as you heard Shanahan allude to about 10 times in that little clip. But, I feel like this game, it also helps out the team that has more continuity together, more reps together, the offensive linemen, the play callers, the quarterbacks. And we got two teams right now who playing this Thursday that's the situation for both teams. So
Great second half for the Giants. They might be back to what they were last year at the second half. The Niners obviously been a buzzsaw. So I think we're in for a good one on Thursday. Go ahead, Tony.
But you just talked about the continuity and like the team with the better, that helps them on Thursday nights. But who does it help as far as simplified game plans? Does that help the offense more or the defense more?
Oh, I mean, both. I always talk about it. I believe this wholeheartedly. Good players make good coaches. Because, like, the best players, the best quarterbacks we know, they have some of the most simplified game plans and things that they did for 10, 15, 20 years. So if you could just execute at a high level, and these guys, Purdy's going to know where those defensive bodies are going to be, what he's going to get. So it depends on the players. And the same thing for defense. If you got, smart guys over there that can adjust and know what they're getting, see what the flavor of the week is. Because like AQ said, if you're going from 130 to 75, that's much easier for a Fred Warner to have a beat on, what's coming. So,
yeah, but, I mean, in my eyes, if everybody knows what they're doing, that's better than anything else.
You're going to get a good product.
Yeah, if everybody knows, if we're all wrong, we're all right. Mm-hmm. But if we're all right, that's much better. And that's like, I think Thursday night there's a lot more of that because everybody's kind of dialed in. You can see the coaches that have, are doing their first Thursday night, I think. I think you can see in plans, schemes, ideas, what their teams do. Daboll talked about Thursday Night Football and said, hey, one of our main guys, especially a guy we brought back this offseason, might be back on Thursday. Here's Coach Brian Daboll, who's staying out in Arizona for their West Coast trip on Thursday to the Niners after playing against the Cardinals. They're staying out there all week. Nice little team bonding.
Yeah, hang on.
Team bonding. Here's Coach Daboll talking about Saquon Barkley's ankle.
I wouldn't count on that, Dan. Not just yet. Okay, I mean, safe to say be out on Thursday night? I'm not saying that he's out yet. He's a quick healer. I'm not saying he's in. He's out. We're going to take it all the way up with him to Thursday, but he feels a lot better today. I just talked to him, so we'll see where we're at.
Okay, Ty, when you hear that, what are you hearing?
I don't think he's going to play. I don't know why you would play Saquon this early if he's a little bit banged up, especially if you're playing the Niners, a pretty good defensive line. But we'll see. I mean, we heard about, Russell Wilson having Wolverine blood. These guys in the NFL typically, they're superhumans. They're not like, they're superhumans. Okay, so
all of them?
Well,
yeah, most.
Because here's Coach LaFleur, okay, talking about David Bakhtiari's knee in his absence from the Atlanta Falcons game. The first question was basically like, hey, did David Bakhtiari not play in Atlanta because it was AstroTurf? And if he was playing somewhere else, would he have played? Here's Coach LaFleur, coach of the Green Bay Packers, talking about Bakhtiari's knee.
Well, his knee is injured, and there's swelling, so.
That game's played at Lambeau Field, is he able to play or not?
I don't believe so.
Just to clarify, is this
I'm not talking. All right, that's it. Just to clarify, I'm done talking about it.
Okay, so just to clarify, I'm done talking about it. Okay, his knee was swollen. It was hurt. If it was played somewhere else, I don't think so. I mean, he is done with it. He's got a lot to deal with, obviously. Mm-hmm. They lose a game down there to an Atlanta Falcons team that might be a lot better than anybody imagines, although it sounds like Green Bay Packers fans don't necessarily think that the Falcons are that good. We should maybe get a win there. No Bakhtiari. Is this going to be the same old song and dance from the years past? LaFleur's echoing the sentiments of a lot of Packers fans, it sounds like there?
Yeah, I think so. That also makes me feel like there's something else going on here because, I mean, he's getting pretty testy about that early. I mean,
just to clarify, he said.
Yeah, exactly. Just to clarify, I'm done talking about this. Okay, we're not going to mention this again. But now, we're in week 2 already. Like, if Bakhtiari, okay, so if he plays this week, that's great. But then if the same thing happens in week 4, like this is just going to be a recurring storyline for the entire season. So I hope he gets comfortable talking about it because I think he's going to be talking about it quite a bit.
Their team's much better whenever he's playing.
Yeah.
No Bakhtiari is obviously a big deal for them. Now they lose there.
Should have won.
Agreed.
Yeah.
How about Atlanta, by the way, winning a game that Last year, they definitely would have lost.
Well, and that's what everyone talks
Yeah.
about is like, hey, this is a team that can't win if they're behind. Like, they need to control the pace of play. They need to be ahead because they're just going to run it down your throat. Like, they were down by 2 possessions going into the fourth quarter and just clinically went down the field and did what they had to do to win.
Yeah, and the Packers, what are we going to end up at? Are we going to be good?
I still think so because I think Love played well. I mean, it's kind of the same old song and dance, with their defensive coordinator, who a lot of people have been calling for his head since he got there. Should he have got it in the first place? He never really had a good defense ever in the NFL. Maybe a kind of an old boys club type of deal where good buddies with the guy. But it's the same thing as always. It's like, hey, can this team stop the run? And then they look good early, and then boom, in the fourth quarter, it's like, okay, no, they can't stop the run.
What, Tone?
I don't think that's true because I saw him on a graphic of coaches that it was like best coaching tree possible. It was head coach Brandon Staley, it was offensive coordinator Matt Canada, and it was defensive coordinator Joe Barry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's the same coaching tree there?
That was like the most ideal coaching staff in the NFL, I think, was the chart that it said.
That's fans love those particular guys. Let's go away from the defense. Let's go to the offense. What have you seen out of Coach LaFleur's offense now that Jordan Love, we all assume, is running the system, how the system's supposed to be playing? Not calling him a system quarterback, but the only offense that he has known since coming into the NFL is LaFleur's offense, which is kind of a system offense, which is much of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to want to do his thing. He has seen a lot. He knows a lot. Feels like he can get the offense into the right situation. Probably a lot more check with me, his audibles. Let's change this thing. Jordan Love was supposed to be how LaFleur's offense was supposed to be run, how he envisioned it full and through. How do you feel they're doing right now thus far, just a couple weeks into the season?
I like what they do when they have their guys. Like, I think the first half of the first game, it looked pretty good, right? And I think Jordan Love has played well. But when you go into a game and you don't have your left tackle, you don't have Aaron Jones, who's an absolute difference maker.
Watson.
Christian Watson. And then you also have to shuffle some guys when Jenkins gets hurt, right? Like, it puts you in such a predicament that not many people can understand. As a quarterback, you want to feel comfortable back there. As a first-year starting quarterback, you want to feel extra comfortable. And when you have your 2 best linemen not on the field, plus your star electric running back that makes the whole thing run smoothly, it's tough.
Have you seen much of the Green Bay Packers offense? Have you broke it down? What are your thoughts?
I like Love. I like him a lot.
We like Love,
especially in the red area. Just like Aaron Rodgers did. He takes care of the football. First 2 games, 3 touchdowns, no picks. I think he's like the 4th quarterback in history.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Patrick Mahomes are the only others to do that in the first 2 games.
Impressive.
To do that. So he's doing all the right things. But like you said, you want to be balanced. You got to have your best players, your highest paid players in there playing when you can. You can see, obviously, coaches get pissed off when it's not a consistent, like, a thing about when injury. You saw it with the Dolphins and Byron Jones. But when it's not a clear cut, hey, this guy's going to be out for X amount of time. When he's back, he's back. When he's kind of in and out of the lineup, that really pisses the coaches off. I'm sure the medical staff and the coaches have some friction there too when you're not figured out when it's a star player like that.
Yes.
So they got to figure that out, especially with the young quarterback. But I love what I'm seeing from Jordan Love. And there was a lot of questions with LaFleur coming into this year too. Without Rodgers being under center, would it look the same? And so far it is.
A lot of ex-NFL coaches and ex-front office people go, oh, LaFleur, real good, huh? Okay. Would be real nice to have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback and have him throw 0 picks pretty much. Take care of the ball completely and do that. We'll see how he does without Aaron. Thus far, Jordan Love has looked, the development of Jordan Love, right? We can say behind the scenes coaching has done very well. On the field, 3 touchdowns, it feels like the coaching's doing well. I'm excited to see if they have success or not. This is going to be, and I've said this before whenever we weren't on ESPN, just on the internet, and obviously it garnered a lot of headlines because I think the way I said it, but like Gutekunst's entire legacy is going to be judged on how this team does. It was his decision to get Aaron the hell out of there. It was his draft pick, Jordan Love. LaFleur, his son, everybody on this team is his eyes. This is how he is going to be judged. Not from the NFC championships with Aaron Rodgers there and the MVPs when Aaron Rodgers is there. It's like this is how people are going to view Gutekunst. Thus far, get a win, get a loss. Jordan Love looks good. How will it maintain? We shall see. I think all eyes are kind of eager to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think if you're a Packers fan, Jordan Love so far has exceeded everyone's expectations. I think the most frustrating thing, because I saw a lot of people saying, on Sunday. They were kind of giving him shit because the Packers got the ball back with 52 seconds and he didn't do anything. And a lot of people are saying, hey, Rodgers in that position, like the Packers win that game 100 out of 100 times. But in his defense, in the fourth quarter, like LaFleur got so conservative and didn't really give Love an opportunity. Like he was playing so well, and then in the fourth quarter, 2 possessions, they run it 3 times, punt, run it 3 times, punt. Like he didn't even get an opportunity to really win that game. And then it's like, hey, 52 seconds left. We need you here. We need you to go 80 yards and score a touchdown and win this for us. And it didn't happen.
On the flip side, Artie Smith, he was aggressive. It was a point where he could have kicked the field goal and took the 1-point lead, went for it on 4th.
Couple times.
Twice.
Yeah.
He pulled his nuts out that whole game.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he said he got that mustache, the testosterone levels automatically go up.
Yeah.
You don't think he's rolling a little bit more dice whenever he's got a little higher T?
Yeah. Very
I believe
apparent.
Artie Smith, RT Smith, is rolling the dice down there on a regular basis. We enjoy him. We also think Artie Smith will be joining us once a week.
Oh, really?
I think so. It's kind of getting worked out right now.
Okay.
I do believe the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Artie Smith, will be joining us once a week for like a dry 5.
Ooh, okay.
You know, because he's like very dry.
Artie's way.
Very dry.
One of the funniest people in the NFL. But if you don't understand dry, humor, it's like, this guy sucks. This guy, and it's like, well, you just got to listen, you see, to what he's burying something in there somewhere. I think we're going to be chatting with him once a week, which we are incredibly honored about. But the Falcons might be a team.
I love them. I mean, Bijan is electric. I think everybody questioned that pick because they already had 2 really good running backs, and the way he moves is incredible.
He's got that. Hey.
3 in a row.
In the same play, he got him set people up. He
would have been like in conversation for like number 1, number 2 pick, like draft 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Before running back started to kind of lose their value. He's that special.
I will say this. Running backs have lost their value if you're not right?
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's still getting paid.
Yes.
Yes.
Christian McCaffrey's still getting paid. Bijan Robinson, if he keeps playing like this and remains playing like this, Bijan, it's not like a running back market issue. I think he'll be viewed as a weapon as opposed to a running back. And I think that's how everybody's going to talk about it. But
filthy.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So much fun to watch. They got a great one. And Artie Smith is the right coach, offensive play caller, to have a guy like him. And I don't even think the Joker, Cordell Patterson, has really gotten loose. No. On the other side, we got AJ Hawk, JJ White. And more conversations about everything happening in the football world. We can't thank you enough for joining us on this glorious Trenches Wednesday. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. We'll see you in about 3.
Pat McAfee sell on your stunner at WrestleMania. Where does that rank all time? That's got to be pretty up there.
Man, top 3. And I got to say top 3 because The Rock, number 1, the way he oversold, and Scott Hall and some of the other guys that took it. But I mean, Pat has a natural feel for the business, epic performer, great on the stick.
I apologize that you're a punk bitch.
Athletically, that match he had with Theory was awesome. And then the kicker was not only the sell of the stunner, but to lay there selling, still guzzling the beer, the presence of mind to ad lib and improvise it like this is a moment without even thinking about it. I think he's amazing. He's very entertaining. And as a human being, I like him a whole lot. And here's an off-the-record story. The second night that we were at Mania, I was just planning on drinking whiskey with my Broken Skull Sessions crew. And so we had a bottle all lined up, and we were just going to drink during the show and show respect to the people that were working. Well, Vince called me into his room and said, hey, man, would you come out in the end, stun me, McAfee, and Theory? And I said, sure. So I couldn't drink until after the show. Okay. So the show happens, I go out there, stun all those cats. Brock Lesnar gets done with his match, the main event with Roman Reigns. And me and Brock have been wanting to bond together and have a few cocktails to begin with. And he goes, hey man, you got anything? I said, yeah. I said, where are we meeting? He goes, my locker room. So it was myself, Brock Lesnar, Larry, one of the trainers who's been there forever, Larry, and Pat McAfee.
What a day, what a dream, what a life. Now I'm going to have a couple more Steve Weisers. What? Maybe a little whiskey. What?
and we took down a fifth. We just passed the bottle around. At first we were drinking out of little cups, then it just turned into the bottle. And we took down a fifth of Maker's Mark in about an hour, and then we all went our separate ways.
Hey, fucking
And I heard through the grapevine that a couple of those guys woke up with severe headaches.
Really, and I don't want to undersell this, really hungover. You know what I mean?
From what you had inside the ring that we saw on camera, and then what was there a thing afterwards?
Well, there might have been, yeah, a lot afterwards.
But it was a bonding moment, after a big show like that of 4 guys, and I've just barely met Pat, but he was already one of the boys because of his football background and how everybody, the WWE has taken to him. And me and Brock's relationship goes back a long way.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, September 30th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts right now.
Football
is here, and football has a lot going on around it that we have to discuss. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys turn Diggs is here. 9-year NFL vet, host of the Man to Man podcast and everything DB, Darius J. Butler is here. 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, player and coach, AQ Shipley is here. Got a chance to ask a question to his hero.
Unbelievable.
In the first hour, and Jason Kelsey. And joining us now live from Manatee, Ohio, is a man who's the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, a Super Bowl champion, college football national champion, COVID survivor, man who they said drank his own urine so that he would be able to remain healthy to play for 12 years?
Believe so, yeah. 11?
In the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Thank you for doing that, AJ. Thank you for donning your urine to show up every single week for your teammates, your team, and the fans.
Hey, it's a sacrifice I was willing to make for you guys, Pat. 11 years, not 12 as well.
Okay. I'm sure it's 12, but you don't count one probably.
12 with the Falcons.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely,
It's 12
Falcons
with
make it 11, and I'd not, Yep, drinking urine all the time.
Have you tried it yet? Have you? Because I remember there was a time we were talking about Body Guru, and the Body Guru almost had you doing it there, I think, for a second, right?
You had to mix another thing in there, too.
Yeah, there's an added ingredient of love. Yep. Added ingredient of love.
I'm not mixing anything. No, if you're going to try it, you got to try it full go. You can't add anything in there.
Cream
in a coffee. I don't do that.
Well,
that's the thing. They said put the cream into the urine.
Yeah, I don't want any of that. That'll just float around the urine and everything. You don't want any of that.
It adds texture, but we're not talking about oat milk or almond milk or cream. We're talking about another cream. That you were there. Yeah. We talked to the Body Guru. What are you playing stupid for? The guy told us.
Come on.
The guy literally told us.
Hey, people do crazy things to get back on the field. They really do. I didn't, but.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, happy you could clarify that. This feels like a Jason Kelsey talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey situation where he's potentially trolling everybody. But there's some big stuff coming out of Chicago, AJ, and I want to dive into it. I guess there was press conferences this morning from the coaches, and there's a man named Dan Wiederer who writes up there for the Chicago Tribune. He's also on 670, The Score. There it is. Nailed it. Okay. He broke down everything that was chatted about here in a series of tweets that we have screenshotted. My jaw's on the floor right now. Just a head-spinning morning on 1920 Football Drive. That's where the Chicago Bears obviously practice. Bears left tackle Braxton Jones headed to IR with a neck injury, okay? It is potentially season ending. The Bears would like to keep Darnell right where he is, but are having discussions on whether to move him to left tackle. That's right tackle, I assume, AQ Shipley. Yes. Not an easy thing to jump from right tackle to left tackle.
Rookie, too.
Some people have been able to do it. Not everybody's been able to do it.
Tristan Wirfs has done it. Sewell did it last week, and I mean, those are two of the freakiest athletes on planet Earth. So, like, let's not assume that everybody can do that.
Not a guarantee that Darnell Wright will be able to do it, even if they do it. The Allen Williams defense coordinator situation continues to get more mysterious, with Matt Eberflus, head coach of the Bears, declining to give an update or clarity on any part of it, including whether Williams is still employed as defense coordinator. I don't know how he danced around press conference without giving that answer, but I would like to see.
So Eberflus called the plays last week.
Okay, so is Allen Williams still on the team? Yes, but I'm the one calling plays.
No, Allen Williams was not there at all.
Okay, so I would like to see how he danced around whether or not the guy's still employed by the Chicago Bears while being asked about it by reporters. That's an incredible Roger Goodell level of maestroing of the microphone.
The only thing they've said was personal problems, and that's all they've said so far.
Personal between Eberflus and Williams, or personal between Williams and his performance,
Himself.
or Allen Williams. Now, we hope he's okay. We know him. He coached at the Indianapolis Colts. I know him. He's been around a very long time. I think he's coached at the Vikings. I think he's coached at the Colts. I think he's coached at the Panthers.
Been around for a while.
Yeah, long time in the NFL. Good dude. We get along with him. Apparently, though, it is still up in the air on what's going on with him. And then this last one here, Justin Fields acknowledged that he has been playing too robotic, then bit the pin off the grenade and rolled into the building with his explanation of why he believes it is that way. Coaching.
Oh!
Wow. A lot more on that. AJ, they're playing the Chiefs, I do believe, coming up here.
Nice.
And it sounds like the Bears got a lot of internal strife going on. This is all coming out of a press conference from the team in the building, from the team, with all this drama being created about the team. What are your thoughts on reading that? As we didn't get a chance to listen to the whole press conference, we do apologize. But these quotes are obviously a bit alarming about team chemistry and where they're at in Eberflus' second year.
Yeah, I would say so. On multiple fronts, too. It's not just like one position group or one spot of your team. I mean, that's the thing. You know, when you lose football games, everybody is combing through everything. Everything's a problem. All the little things got swept under the rug before will all come out, and everyone's going to nitpick at everything. And I don't know, for Zito's Bears, it's not looking that good right now.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to only get worse. And remember, last year, they earned the number one pick in the NFL draft.
Yes, they did.
Congratulations to them. How'd they do it? Did they win a coin toss?
Nope.
No. Did they win a track meet? No. Did they outrun? No. They lost more than everybody else. They sucked more than everybody else. They were the worst football team in the NFL, and the NFL said, you know what? You get the number one overall pick. And they said, before we get too close to the draft, let's go ahead and trade us out of here so people forget that we were maybe the worst.
Yes.
Carolina Panthers are the worst team in the NFL. All of a sudden, they're the ones that have the number one overall pick, not us. There was a lot of hype going into the season for the Chicago Bears. A lot of Justin Fields on the MVP run, said Dan Orlovsky on the Dan wagon potentially. Now here we are 2 weeks in, and it's like, his coach ain't going to last the rest of the year.
Nope.
This thing's going to get imploded quickly.
Did they clarify the coaching comment at all when he said he's playing robotic because of coaching? I would like to see the follow-up to that.
So I guess what we are being told from our sources, potentially, is that with Getsy coming from Aaron Rodgers, you know what I mean? There was a chance that there was a full-on, like, hey, this is how we should maybe play, as Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Is Justin Fields Aaron Rodgers? No. Is anybody Aaron Rodgers? No. Is Aaron Rodgers Justin Fields, though? No. So, I think that is potentially what some people are saying, why he's overthinking, trying to be something he's not. But I think our biggest conversation around Justin Fields is like, just let the guy run.
Yeah.
What do we, you know what I mean? Just let the guy run. Why don't we do that?
What are you protecting him from? Yeah, like everybody needs a gig. Everyone wants to win football games. If him running gives you the best chance to win, then let him run. Let him do it.
They're saving him for the future, though. That's what they always say, but it's like...
There might not be a future. That's the problem.
Bingo. And I said this yesterday. It's like, we're scared that he's going to get hurt. Why? Because we think his career is going to be long, okay? Well, if his career is going to be long, he's going to have to be different and good and great at things. It's like, what makes him great? Oh, he's faster than everybody. It's like, well, why would we? So it's going to look different than it did for Peyton. It's going to look different than it did for Tom Brady. It's like one of this guy's biggest assets is that he's faster than everybody else on the field. And it seems like they're like scared to do it for whatever reason. Now, we don't know if that's coming from Justin Fields' camp, saying we don't want him running, we want to keep him healthy. We don't know if it's coming from ownership saying we want him to be healthy, he's the future of the program. If it's polls or that other guy that made the decision to trade a bag of balls for old buddy to get drafted. Who'd you guys trade away?
Roquan?
No, during the draft.
They traded back with the Eagles.
For the Eagles to get
Carter. And they got Darnell Wright, that tackle.
And they thought they were going to get Carter.
Yes.
Correct.
So they swap places with the Eagles on draft night, and it's not Poles handling the call. It's this assistant GM
from Philly,
from Philadelphia, handling the call, and he's like rocking back and forth, and he goes for a fourth, and they're like, good, and Eberflus is like, yeah, how you doing? That's good. For a fourth round pick, we'll swap. And then they hang up the phone, and they're like, all right, we got Carter, and then Eagles like, we'll take Carter.
We got Carter.
Yeah, we will take Carter. And all of a sudden, you're just kind of sitting on your hands. It's like the GM didn't even do that conversation. It was the assistant GM who potentially missed out on Carter. Add that to the number of things that is coming out of the Bears camp. That's like, this is so incredibly dysfunctional. How do we even, if you win, all this isn't talked about.
Yep.
None of this is talked about if you win. Even if you're running a terrible organization somehow, if there's so many flaws, winning cures everything. But if you lose and it looks bad, boy, they're going to find all of this stuff, D-Bud.
Like AJ said, that's when everything else matters more. You even saw with Russ. As soon as he start not playing well, start losing, everything else started getting blown out of proportion. But, and winning, obviously, in this league, it comes down to getting the most out of your quarterback. And they're not doing that at all. Obviously, the other surrounding the BS around the facility is one thing, but when your quarterback is up there, kind of throwing a guy under the bus.
Well,
and
hold on.
We talked to Dan yesterday, too, about Luke Getsy.
Hold on. Zito said the video is vastly different than just the quote there.
Okay.
Vito said, now Vito's a Chicago Bears fan, and as I'm talking, Zito is jumping on top of me 100 times here in the last 30 seconds to get to clarification about the Bears because of how much he loves the Bears. Never does that with any other team except for the Bears. I appreciate the passion coming out from him after having the worst team in the NFL last year. He's very good. He just listened to the entire Justin Fields thing and said it's vastly different than just him burying his coaches, though.
Okay.
Here's Justin Fields chit-chatting about himself being too robotic and why from today's press conference.
I felt like, I wasn't necessarily playing my game. Felt like I was kind of robotic and, not playing like myself. So, my goal this week is just to, say F it and just go out there and play football how I know how to play football.
Okay,
that's not, that includes thinking less and just going out there and, playing off of instincts rather than just
it's the worst.
So much, so to say, info in my head, data in my head, and literally just going out there playing football. Just going back to it's a game, and that's it. Because that's when I play my best is when I'm just out there playing free and being myself. So I'm gonna say kind of just bump all the what I should do, what I this and that, like pocket stuff, like. I'm going to go out there and be me. Yep.
There we go.
Okay, so he said he was just overthinky. Less thinky, more athlete takeovery is what Sirianni said. I didn't hear the coaching thing. Zito oddly edited that particular part out of the video. We'll have to follow up with how coaching became the answer. I assume there was an elaborate answer there. Justin Fields didn't sound mad at anybody except for himself there.
Yep, right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of those things, how quotes can obviously be a little bit different read versus heard.
Of course.
So maybe the walls aren't all burning down in Chicago.
Well.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they definitely are. This looks like a team that's going to have number 1 overall pick again with Justin Fields, but this is exactly why we talk about the draft the way we do. Like, Fields is in his 3rd year. He's on his 2nd head coach. He's on his 2nd OC. He might be unbelievable, but we'll have no idea because he's part of the worst organization in sports right now.
Arizona.
Yeah. At least they're playing with the fire in their gut. They're up 20-0 at halftime. At least they're playing. The Bears are just getting smoked week after week.
We lost by 1 touchdown.
Yep. Well, sometimes scores at the end of games are closer. The Patriots lost by a touchdown too, but they got killed by Miami. There's a different story.
Bingo. That's very true. But you guys did get killed by Miami. And then how about the old backdoor cover? What was that on Thursday night?
Yep.
Vikings
exactly.
Vikings. Philadelphia.
Yep.
You're right. Score can indicate a little bit different, but I appreciate the fact that Zito is sticking by the Chicago Bears still as we go. Joining us now is a man who so we'll keep an eye on Chicago.
Okay.
Good luck out there, Chicago.
Good luck.
Come on, Justin.
Bears fans can't be happy about this, though.
No.
It's terrible.
They're supposed to win the division this year.
Come on. This was the year it was possible, and it's just not, seemingly, at this stage. A lot of season left, though. A lot of growth available, and who knows? Maybe they'll have Justin Fields running around the field again.
That'd be cool.
You know what I mean? That would be very cool. Joining us now is a man who is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot of time.
That is a
3-time.
lot of time.
5-time first-team All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, 6th rounder. That ain't right.
What?
6th overall pick probably is what it was. First-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, crushing it for CBS once out of the 2 weeks. Right? He didn't go both weeks.
Right.
1 week hot in CBS. Ladies and gentlemen, JJ White.
Yeah.
Let's go, Burnley!
I'm going to come on this. I love coming once a week just to get my ego pumped up. This is great. Just read my stats once a week, pump me up, and get me through to the next week.
So I combined yours and Jason Kelsey's. So you're a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Walter Payton Man of the Year, good human. Obviously, remember what happened with Houston.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, somebody had to do it. JJ said, okay, I'll be the person that's in the position. I don't need the award for it, but I will raise, $50 million?
Right.
Something like that. Way to go. 5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first-team All-Pro, and then obviously at the Texans, a Cardinals legend. So, and he's going into the Texans Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
When's that, next week?
Yes, next weekend.
Congratulations.
How about it?
Thank you.
Now that you're just a basic-ass J.J. Watt, though, and not in any Hall of Fames or Ring of Honors, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. How's Burnley doing? Are we good? Are we winning?
It's good. It's good. We had a 1-1 draw on Monday.
That's a win.
There we go.
Soccer.
Snooze fest.
We got a point. We got a game on Saturday morning against Man United, so be sure to tune into that. It'll be a good one.
Where's it at? At Burnley or is it in Manchester?
It's at Turf Moor. It's in Burnley. So it'll be a good one.
So do they zoom you in on the jumbo? Is there a jumbotron, and do they zoom you in to give a motivational speech beforehand, or how's your presence felt?
You know, it's fascinating. It's one of the biggest differances that I've noticed in my time watching the Premier League is that the game day atmosphere is so much different than an American sport atmosphere. Like the jumbotrons are much, much smaller, and the focus is so much more on the field. The fans are locked in. It's basically 2 hours on the dot from kickoff to the time you leave the stadium, and it's just all focused. There's no cheerleaders. There's no real crazy commercialism. It's very locked in on the field.
So you're going to change that, right? You're a big American coming in and change that? Or what?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's one way to ingratiate yourself to the fans over there, it's to just absolutely Americanize everything. So
we need the inflatable.
Yeah, those things.
We need those with your face on it.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need the Colts mascot spinning his stomach around, they do, all those guys. The Philly fanatic. Yeah.
What, AJ?
AJ, what?
You don't like?
We've seen the Colts. The Colts, JJ, the Colts mascot has done some terrible things to Evan Foxy back there in the studio.
No, that's the air blue.
Yeah, that's the air version, AJ.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Yep, okay.
There's numerous
At a Colts game on the field.
Yeah, okay. Well, he sucked on, obviously. Evan
Well,
Fox.
you've done some pretty horrible things to me, AJ, in 1 week on the show. So
Thank you.
Forgiveness is key.
How about that? Yeah, TJ. Remember that?
Yeah. Second wine.
You're right. Hey, at least it was your brother, I guess. I think it's if it's any Watt brother, I take it as a compliment. So yes,
How
it
come-
meant nothing by
I
it.
agree.
How come Derek didn't get a J middle name? What happened there? DJ would have been sick.
He has one. It is DJ. He didn't like it because of DJ Tanner from Full House. He was catching a lot of DJ Tanner from Full House. I mean, I don't know.
Was the only
He was 5 years old, and he was like, I'm
not doing it. JJ, TJ, I'm Derek. I don't want to hear it. I absolutely love that. All right, let's dive into TJ. Obviously, TJ has a scoop and scored touchdown this past weekend. He's on pace for 34 sacks. What is it about him this year you think that you're seeing that maybe makes him different? Is he better than he's been? Is this the best TJ Watt that we've seen, JJ, in your eyes?
I mean, he does look incredible. Yeah, he's very healthy. He's playing extremely well. He had a great offseason training. And he's got a guy on the other side that's playing incredibly well. He's got Alex Highsmith on the other side who is really able to take advantage when he gets the one-on-ones. He's also able to take some of those double teams off. TJ got doubled and chipped a ton in this game, so it was great to have Alex on the other side be able to take advantage. And obviously this play was a massive, massive play in the game. With Highsmith causing the fumble, coming around the edge. Go back to the beginning. Look at his get-off. He clearly had something here where he knew when to get off because he just flew past this tackle. Easy strip sack, and then TJ picking it up, taking it to the house. I mean, their defense scored between TJ and Alex. They scored 14 points, and their offense only scored 12 points. Like when you got two outside linebackers like that, the best duo in the league.
What's he
Pat's
doing?
a little similar to something that you've seen before in Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, like that combo, like 1-2 punch combo.
Oh, you're talking about these two guys here, honestly. That's high compliment. And I think, because I'm the Indianapolis Colts guy, and JJ was in the AFC South. And at the time, I think Dwight and Robert were talked about in high regards, but history, that not really chatted about much because Dwight Freeney lives on a golf course every single day. Robert Mathis has disappeared completely. So nobody really talks about either of them. But when they were humming, they were our entire strategy on the defensive side of the ball, JJ.
Yes, they are. At the time, like you said, they were hyped up properly. They were incredible. They were the biggest thing. And as a pass rusher, I loved watching film of these guys. But I feel like history has kind of made them underrated. People have kind of forgotten about how good those two were and what they were able to do. And I believe somehow Dwight Freeney's not even in the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
That's
that is true.
mind-blowing.
He has not got, I think it's 2 times he hasn't got voted in.
That's crazy.
Dwight Freeney?
I mean, Dwight Freeney. It's like Dwight Freeney, the spin, the power, everything he's got. And I mean, you look at the two of them combined right there. It's a perfect play. It looks exactly like TJ and Alex right there. When you have two guys off of each edge that can do this, with Dwight powering, Robert around the backside, strip sack, pick it up. Now all you got to do is just get to the end zone. He get tackled by his own guy.
Yeah, well, I think he was falling at the beginning. You know that turf, it's bad. The turf is bad. It's a little sticky out there.
Did 90 wipe out his legs?
Oh,
yeah.
He did get schoolboyed there a little bit, it feels like. That's 100% on him. Yeah, Freeney and Mathis, though, they were the plan. Like, Bill Polian built the team. Okay, what are we going to do? On offense, we're going to get a lead. Okay, so we're going to pay Peyton, we're going to pay Marv, we're going to pay Reggie, we're going to pay Dallas. Stokely was there for a bit. We're going to pay these guys. We're going to get a lead, and then once we get a lead, they're going to have to pass. So then all of a sudden we got these two guys, and then Bob Sanders is just going to terrorize back here whenever it happens. That was our entire strategy. Pittsburgh, with Highsmith and TJ, obviously they just paid Highsmith as well. It feels like that's maybe a smart plan. That feels like a good plan, a tried and true one, JJ.
Yeah, you just got to start getting some of those leads so that you can let those guys go out there and eat. I mean, really, when you think about it, the way you were just naming out those players, man, those Colts teams, they really were the real deal. I mean, you get Peyton putting a lead up there, and then you let those guys go eat, get after quarterbacks. That's the dream right there.
Oh, so you're saying if Pittsburgh was to maybe score some points on the offensive side, JJ? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, it would help. It would help. It as a defensive guy, it does help when you can put some points on the board.
Yeah.
It's an obvious observation. I'm not saying anything here that nobody doesn't know. I mean, we need to get some points on the board.
Remember, he does speak for TJ Watt.
That's right. No.
Yeah. Everything he says is for TJ. So he just said the offense needs to score some more points. That's clearly the entire Watts family. Not DJ.
No.
Not TJ.
No.
The whole family feels this way. No, it's a very obvious observation. You're a football pundit. But it does make your life a lot easier because you can just, right? They're going to have to throw. You know it. It's much more predictable all of a sudden.
It's the greatest. When you get into the fourth quarter of a game and the other team is down, a score or two, and you get to just tee off and you just know that they're passing every down and they have to try and spread it out, that is – it's literally what you live for as a pass rusher. It's the greatest. And they do it really well up there in Pittsburgh when they get a chance to.
Yeah, when they get a chance to. Sure. Go ahead, AJ.
JJ, it was cool watching those clips with your brother and Highsmith and obviously Freeney and Mathis. How important is it to have like complementary rushers on either side? Like one guy, if this guy's bowling, this guy's going to be speed rushing and vice versa if you're doing it the other way. I think a lot of times people don't, when they watch a game, they don't see all the games going on, especially out there on the edge between those two guys.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. I mean, especially if you have a mobile quarterback who can get out of the pocket, to be able to complement each other. And I think a lost part of that as well is the guys up the middle pushing. If you don't have that middle push, the big D tackles getting pressure up the gut, edge rushers, it's very easy for them to either get run by up high or for the quarterback to step up in the pocket because he has that type of space. So when you get that push up the gut, it really allows those edge rushers to do what they want. I mean, you look at a team right now like the Dallas Cowboys doing it so well with Micah and Marcus Lawrence and what they're doing. I mean, they're playing incredible ball. I think you also, the Browns do it well with Zadarius Smith and with Myles Garrett. But, I mean, Micah, that tech stunt that Micah did and got his sack on in the Jets game was a perfect example of it.
Okay, so I think we have the film for it. We'll get to that in a second. Like, we talked to Micah yesterday about them having so much depth at the D-line where he's actually out someplace, like on the sideline, and he's obviously saying, whatever the coach needs me to do, I'm going to do. I'm saying, okay, so you're good with it. He goes, I'm not good with it.
Yeah.
Let's not, I'm not good with it. But is that something that you should think about if you're an explosive edge? Like, long season here, right? Normally it's thought about with wide receivers, quarterbacks, other positions, but defensive ends, 17 games, long season, a lot of things can happen in every single play. Is that even a thought, you think, for Micah and the Cowboys, or is it just their depth?
I mean, it's definitely something I probably should have thought about at some point in my career. It's probably going to help him out. I mean, it is a long season, and the way that he plays, he is 100% effort every single play of every single game, and he's incredible. And so, I mean, you do put in that type of effort. Taking a play off here and there and getting a breather does help. But I also know that mentality. I mean, he talked about it on your show. He has that lion mentality. He wants to go out there and he wants to just kill everybody. And I think that's the best. That's why he's so good, is because of his relentless effort, because of the energy, because of he never stops going. He's an unbelievable player, and on top of all of that, he has the athleticism and he has the freak ability to move and to bend and to turn corners. He's a special player, man.
He's a psychopath. Let's get to he's actual psycho.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was talking about how closer to the game he becomes. You are the same way. You get on the field, you become.
Yeah, but I mean, when he was talking about that and his eyes and the way that he was like, that was pretty cool to watch. I love that conversation.
I was on these young guys, though. I'm growling out. Yeah, the real deal.
In the locker room.
I think he was making his eyes go a different direction, man. It was. I'll screw you up as a rookie.
Yeah, I would assume. Like, wow, this men's league's wild. You should see this guy. He's really good on the field, but the things he has to do to get to that point, this guy's got both eyes going sideways. I don't know which one I'm talking to. Then I'm talking to Mike, I thought. No, I'm talking to an actual lion. He started growling at me. This guy started actually growling at people. I thought somebody was walking back in the background.
Yeah.
Maybe two people were walking back.
Yeah.
And he was tracking them with both eyes as if he was a jungle cat. But let's talk about him on the field. He is so fast and explosive. I believe this is the play that you were referring to. He starts way out there. I mean, he's way out there. Way out.
Yeah, he's got plenty of distance out there, which is going to force that offensive tackle to kick out to him a little bit and make him create more space for these guys inside, which obviously helps create everything that they're trying to set up here. And you have to be crazy fast to be able to line up that wide. So the tackle has to kick. Now he just comes underneath, wraps behind both guys, and has a 100% free shot at the quarterback. I mean, that is the dream. When you can wrap underneath and you have a free shot on the quarterback like that, and then the lion crawled to finish it off. I mean, that celebration is phenomenal. He needs to keep that one going.
Better than your celebration? What was yours? What was the one you did?
I liked it. I started out with the salute, and then I switched a little bit to some – I just kind of mixed it up near the end. But this reminds me a little bit of Brian Dawkins coming out of the tunnel from the Eagles. Remember that back in the day? One of the best entrances of all time.
Yes.
And then we got this one. This is just pure effort, athleticism. Comes underneath. Guys kind of got him around the waist, but he's not going to give up. He's going to just – I mean, the effort is just incredible. And when you combine it with the athleticism, going for the ball, you can see him going for the ball on this play. He's trying to get the ball out. And then we see him later in the game actually get the ball out when he strips it for that play. So guy's incredible. He's an unbelievable player, and Dallas is certainly lucky to have him.
JJ,
and he's just wreaking havoc in that Dan Quinn.
JJ, how happy is he that this is happening out here? I mean, look, how happy are you about that? You know what I mean?
It's pretty incredible, and that's one of those where as a pass rusher or as a fan, you're kind of looking at it like, all right, how did this happen, guys? Like, how do we not have anybody maybe put the running back on the other side, give us a chip? AQ, I've always kind of wondered this because I know some game plans, coaches will literally say every single time we are putting a double on a certain player. But then there's also some where they're either just trusting their O-line or there's checks where they cannot physically put a double on a guy. How does it work like in a play like this? Like, why is he one-on-one? Do they just believe in the tackle that much?
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. Like Bruce Arians was real big, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago when I was playing for him. He was like, hey, listen, we chip Javon Curse every time and he still got 4 sacks. I'm not going to get my running back out and keep him in protection, and then we can't get anything going, right? And so whenever we started playing Aaron Donald in the division, we just started literally just calling the protection 99, wherever he was. Forget the mic, we're going there, back, you got everybody else, right? This is one of those things where Micah has become that guy. He's become that guy. This is where you have to slide to him. It's one of them things, whether you put a back or a tight end right there to chip, or, hey,
can't
same
that wide
thing.
receiver that's right there chip him?
You could.
I mean, he's right there, right?
Just bring him in, right?
Those are the worst chips too, man, because that one's from way out there, so you're kind of like, I don't think that guy's going to chip me. So you take a regular get off, and if he chips you, he can look like the strongest man in the world because you'll be flat on your ass.
Just right there on your hip, right? We're getting hip and shoulder pad, and you're done. I think TJ was lined up out by a wide receiver a couple times this past weekend, and I'm like, is that wide receiver going to give a little bit of a shot to TJ? I assume they're taught that.
They drop him back more than I like, to be honest.
Who, TJ?
Yeah, they put him in. They drop. He should be getting after the quarterback every single play.
Yeah, but let's talk about. He's on track for 34 sacks.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's drop him.
Yeah, put him at corner.
Who does the money go to in that?
I guess TJ gets to pick whatever charity organization.
Favorite charity?
Yeah, 500,000. I mean,
Oh,
what was I doing?
I wonder what his favorite charity is.
Oh, Burnley FC.
You tell me. Is that a charity case?
I wonder if only like a family member or a brother or something had a charity that helped middle school kids across the country. I don't know. I mean, I'm rooting for 34 sacks. Let's do this.
Okay, so you think TJ's going to pick your charity or Derek's? It sounds like.
I don't know, but man, it would kind of be a kick in the nuts if he didn't. I just say that.
That would be awesome. We're going to learn a lot about DJ and JJ's relationship here if he continues to go.
Yeah,
What'll hold him back? What'll hold him back? Just injury, I guess, right? And I assume that's not something he can predict, or is there an active way to kind of fend that off?
I mean, I really do like the Browns had a good game plan. If you actually sit there and you watch the film, they put a tight end on him. They put Njoku out there a lot of the game to double team him. They had little bunch sets that make him line up in different positions that are tough. So it's putting all that capital to him. That's when it's hard, and that's why, like we talk about, not getting those leads. Yeah, like right here. So he has Njoku in there at the tight end, and he's got a receiver out there. So now he's got to decide, where am I going to line up? Do I want to get wide and hope that these guys release and don't block me so I have a better run? Do I want to line up inside? It's a really tough spot as a defensive lineman to figure out where to line up when teams are going to do this to you.
Well, and I assume this guy's scared to death that he's going to jam. You know what I mean? Jam the hill.
It's a funny thing, man, because you want to just run right through his face, but it also is going to slow you down. And so you're just trying to find the best possible angle. So here the tight end's going to basically stay in and block him, and the tackle's also going to help. So he's got to run that big hoop. But it doesn't matter because that's what Alex Highsmith on the other side does. That's back to AJ's original point. That's the advantage that you have having a dominant guy on the other side. When teams are going to don't give all that capital to you, the other guy has to win.
I think another team that you wanted to chat about was a surprise, not only to me, but also to Gumpy. And Gumpy's excited to hear about it because the conversation down in South Beach, JJ, is all about how the offense is a track meet.
Yep.
Hey, Tua's putting the ball where it needs to be. McDaniel is drawing up plays that are able to beat any defense. And Mostert, if you're going to do that, he's going to take it to the crib. Nobody's talking about the defense side of the ball. The only thing we chatted about was Christian Wilkins holding in, not getting a deal, and then saying, okay, guys, I guess I'll play. I just missed all training camp, which is awesome. What you've seen, though, from them is something that you said we need to spotlight a little bit, JJ.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins' D-line is underrated. I think their offense, rightfully so, gets a ton of the credit. But I love watching the Dolphins' D-line, the way they fly around. Obviously, Fangio down there has that defense playing well. But you've got Wilkins, you've got Phillips, you got Chubb. But when Phillips is out, who fills in? Wisconsin Badger, Van Ginkel. Here he is coming off with the long hair. Dedication to A.J. Hawk, I'm sure. Flying off the edge, getting chipped. Look at this, a chip from the tight end, which sucks. We just talked about it. Now you're around the tackle, just destroying around the edge and making plays. That's a defensive line. Van Ginkel's not even their starter. He's a backup, but coming in and playing that good when Phillips is out. I think between Phillips, between Chubb, between Wilkins, that defensive line deserves a lot of credit down there in South Beach.
Gumpy, how do you feel about it, pal? We're not just talking about the offense down there being good. We're talking about the defense, the most important part of the defense, D-line being some game wreckers going.
DeVinky is an absolute dog, and that was the best game Bradley Chubb has played in a Dolphins uniform by far on Sunday night.
Those guys were playing good, and they put Mac Jones in some tough spots.
Yeah, they did.
So look at that, man. Going for the elbow.
Yes, you hear that? It was like there was a climax to the story.
Proud father.
It was. It really was.
It's the best, man. When you break that corner and you have that shot and you see the ball still in his hand, it is just the greatest feeling.
Oh, close.
So close.
Glorious.
Nice block, Calvin. Prick.
Well, what do you want him to do? So whenever you get chipped, does that, because he almost pushed him away from the tackle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, does that, do you ever see any benefit from that ever? Like,
So
go ahead.
I actually got a sack early in my career against the Steelers where I got chipped and the chipper chipped me inside past the tackle. So the tackle is setting out on me. The chipper chipped me and actually knocked me inside to the B gap, and I got up and got a sack on Big Ben. It was kind of one of those roller coaster of emotions moments where I was like, son of a bitch, I just got chipped. And then I was like, oh, all right, here we go. And so I enjoy that very much.
Yeah, so maybe it's a little bit of a gift and a curse there. And we did some research on the chip on this program.
Yes, we did.
When was the chip founded, Connor?
Funny enough, I believe the chip was founded in the year 2002. It was Bill Belichick game planning for Dwight Freeney, and he said, we can't block Dwight Freeney one-on-one. We're going to have to bring in somebody and invent this chip block, as they did.
Still not in the Hall of Fame.
Wait.
Dante's
Wait.
Not Dante.
2002?
Yep.
The chip block was invented?
Look it up.
It's journalism, bro. We're doing it right now. In your face.
Nobody in the history of football ever chipped before 2002.
Never. Not once. Sorry. That's what the book says.
Sorry.
So argue with the book.
I got to watch the film. I need to get on the film.
Sounds like you do.
Dwight Freeney still not in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Potentially had something created to stop him. Not in the Hall of Fame. That needs to be fixed. Go ahead, AJ.
JJ, I'm curious. What did you hate that O lineman would do when they would try to block, other than being double teamed time after time? Like, short set, whatever it may be. I know a lot of pass rushers have things that they dislike, and also just to give you a heads up, I don't know if you know, but our guy Dennis Gardeck got another sack, so he's up to 3 on the year for the Arizona Cardinals.
Whoa!
Yes. Our guy Dennis the Menace is absolutely wreaking havoc down here. What I hated, I really, really hated, and I still hate this. I think when they do they pull your arms down, or they like pull the front of your jersey down, and kind of almost like a Mighty Ducks, the fight scene where they pull the jersey over the head.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
You go in for a bull rush and they pull you down. That is just, it sucks. And I would do it if I was them because it's effective and it works and they don't call it holding. But to me, like, it's just such a that's your move, man. Like, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. Here's a guy that loved to do it. AQ Shipley has a question for you.
JJ, so you spent obviously a lot of your time more inside. You did the 5 technique, 3 technique. You were outside. You kind of were all over the place. TJ spends most of his time outside. I saw a clip this last week where he kind of did the Myles Garrett. He walked around, came up over the center, actually made the play on a run play. But can you talk about going from outside to inside and kind of how much different the game is on the edge versus inside?
Yeah, it's very, very different. Tackles set much different than guards. They also are different body types and skill sets generally. Guards are going to get on you much quicker because there's shorter space, shorter windows, so they're going to get on you much quicker. But you are generally going to have an ability to use some of that athleticism a little bit more inside. Out on the edge, tackles, obviously there's more space. There's a lot more stuff to do. So you have different options out there on the edge. I personally love moving around a lot because not only does it give me a chance to go on different guys, but it also keeps the offense guessing of where I'm going to be. And to your point, that is a little bit different with TJ, where he is on the left edge majority of the time. And that's where he's comfortable and that's where he's best. So they don't switch it up there, but it does also give the offense a chance to kind of know where you're going to be at all times.
Do you think he's breaking that record this year, TJ?
I mean, the way he's playing right now, man, he's on a different level. I mean, he's been on a different level for a long time, but he's playing lights out right now. I really think he's got a shot to do it.
The Pittsburgh Steelers texted us and said that the J.J. Watt Foundation is probably not going to be the foundation.
No.
I'm just letting you know that.
What did I say?
The Steelers person texted us and said, don't think that's the one. It's already been decided.
Well, I got a phone call to make in about 10 minutes.
Oh, you hate the Pittsburgh Children's Hospital? Whoa.
Whoa. This guy.
Hey, thanks for coming on the show, JJ.
Nice job,
okay.
JJ.
I'm from Pittsburgh. Those kids are my family. Okay, you hate them. Oh, all right. Yeah, sweet.
Walked into that.
You, speaking of walking into something, you said, hey, I understand I talk about defense a lot, but there's a guy who's playing offensive football that I would like to give a little bit of a hat tip to, and that man's Mr. Irrelevant from last season, Brock Purdy. We have a couple clips here of Brock Purdy. What have you seen out of him that makes you want to talk about him, first of all? And also, is he a guy that's going to be able to win a Super Bowl with this Niners team, you think, JJ?
I want to talk about Brock because of what he's able to bring to the 49ers in terms of skill, but also ability to create a team around him. Is obviously you're going to see right here. He's poised in the pocket. He makes incredible throws, and he can really handle that Kyle Shanahan offense well. But what it means in this league when you have a quarterback who can play at the level Brock's playing at for $870,000 this season, you're allowed to build a team around him that is absolutely dominant, which is what the 49ers have done. They've got Trent Williams, they got George Kittle, they've got Ayuk, they got Debo, they got CMC, they got Fred Warner, they got Greenlaw, which AJ might be able to give some insight on this. I think is probably the best inside linebacker duo in the entire NFL. You got Bosa, you got all these guys. That's all because you have a quarterback that's making $870,000 this year, and that's unbelievable what they built up there.
How do you feel about those quarterback contracts? Obviously, defensive end, and you made your fair share of didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Multiple
We
times.
saw that log cabin out there in Wisconsin.
My God.
Oh, the kid did good.
Yeah.
Kid did good.
100,000 square feet.
Yeah, oh, my God. I think even more than that.
Yeah.
And then every TV has these LED lights around.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. It is all so cool.
Speaker playing turned down for what at all times?
All the time.
Yep.
Yeah, you walk in the house.
Yeah, boom.
Turn down for what? Every step he takes, like in the airport, you know when it lights
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
it's like avatars, the bottom of the creeks.
Yeah, that's right.
When you're walking on it, and it just lights up. That's what this guy's log cabin is like.
Living in 2038.
Still a log cabin though.
Yeah. Yes.
Still rugged.
Rough, of course.
Still tough. Now
You act like you're not talking to me from the Thunderdome, like this literal playland that you live in.
Yeah, but we got bugs in here. Don't
It's a
we?
modest
a lot of
office.
bugs.
Yeah, it is a modest office.
Yeah.
Okay.
We only have what we need
That's right.
at this particular Thunderdome. You know what I mean?
Heard
But-
about 2 sweet additions today.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I'd say.
we got some stuff going on here that's going to be absurd. But we're not talking about Thunderdome salary caps.
No.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, JJ, thanks for trying to divert away from this. We're talking about NFL salary caps. How do you feel about next CBA, quarterbacks potentially being put in their own slot so that there's no longer this juggle of feeling obligated to make the quarterback the highest paid quarterback of all time because they've earned it, they deserve it, and they're the most, I think pressure-packed position in all of sports. We all agree with that. But what happens whenever they change what the salary cap is and who makes what and the rookie men and the vet men, basically quarterback numbers just went through the roof, and then defensive ends, I still getting paid, corners, wide receivers still get paid. But a large majority of the roster here now is suffering from it mightily. Do you think there comes a time where the quarterbacks are in their own world almost, as opposed to everybody else, like a quarterback club, like it was old school with the way the money's getting right now, JJ?
It's interesting. We were kind of talking about this amongst friends back during the last CBA conversation. And I was talking to my buddies and I was like, imagine if the quarterbacks just got together and said, we're going to negotiate our own little deal. Because, the realistic thing in this league is you have to have a quarterback. The quarterbacks are the stars. They're the ones driving the narratives. They're the ones driving the success. It's just a fact. You can't argue the quarterback's the most important position in the league. So if they truly did want to do, their own little thing, you also can't really argue with the fact that is the most important position in the league. So I could see a day where that was the case, because it also does affect the salary cap in so many ways for teams. But then it's also kind of like that fair market system where it's the most important person gets paid the most, and then you decide who's important after that, how they're going to get paid. But I could see a day where that comes just because it makes easier logistical sense.
It makes sense for everybody. And the quarterback club back in the day was obviously not beloved by the rest of the players. It was like Marino, Kelly, Elway, Favre, Aikman, and they had the quarterback club. It was actually video games and everything where they were making their own money. And then I assume somebody showed up and was like, you're kind of screwing everybody else.
You're killing us.
But now we're at a different point. The money's much different now than it was back then. It feels like we're on the verge of that. And I think the business sense of the guys that are at the top too kind of understand how that could all work out.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of other players would be like, All right, thank God they're not in our salary cap anymore, in our salary pool. I think it's much.
How do you decide? The hard part there is how you decide how it works, because obviously there's a handful of top tier guys. And then there's obviously other quarterbacks that aren't necessarily in that top tier, but it's just logistically, how do you figure that out? Is it just they have their own salary cap system and it's automatic that the bottom quarterback is getting paid this much?
I think it would be a tiered thing. You know how they put grades on guys, like a 3rd round tender, 4th round tender? I think it would be like a tiered system with that money already figured out. Like, what's the next quarterback deal at the elite tier? We'll just say that's what that is. Well, it's $55 million a year. Okay, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. And then the next one's like $60 million a year for the next person. Or you can have this $30 million, $25 million, and then if somebody else, I think it is. It's just its own world almost, I think.
Kind of like max contracts in the NBA. Like if you're Pro Bowl each year, if you stay with a certain team, you can make a max. If you don't, this is your slot.
Yeah, we talked about percentages of salary cap for specific positions.
Yes. Like, hey, the max amount you can get is this percentage of
Yes.
I think they're going to do it because there's too much tomfoolery with the salary cap happening right now by some places, and then teams are end up with nothing. Like, they make rules to save themselves from future decisions all the time. Like Tom Brady, if he owns a minority share of the Las Vegas Raiders, he's not allowed to work for the Raiders. Did you know this?
Obviously he can't play for him, but
can't work.
What do you mean he can't work for him? He can't do anything?
Not even allowed to be in the front office. They made that rule after Brady gets the minority share. Brady would not be able to play for a team if he owned a part of a franchise, obviously. But under new rules reportedly passed after Brady agreed to acquire the Raiders stake, Brady would not be unable to work for the Raiders if he held any team equity. If Raiders owner Mark Davis had been hoping to add Brady to his front office, he can no longer do so. And this is about the front office sports article that said, hey, Tom Brady has not been officialized as an owner of the Raiders, and there is no time in the NFL schedule to make that happen. So they're delaying it. So people are saying, Tom Brady wants to play again. But then there's also a thought that maybe Mark Davis had these ideas for him. He's not allowed to do it. And I wonder, why would the NFL do that? And they're like, well, future issues we don't want to deal with. And it's like other teams we don't want to deal with. It's like the quarterback salary cap feels like something that a lot of the owners who aren't benefiting from it right now could potentially project out into the forward and want to change it. Anyways, that's a big time zoomed out conversation about something. I appreciate your take on it, JJ. Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead, pal.
Staying somewhat along those lines, what about possibly working in the front office for an NFL team at some point, maybe even running for a political office? I know The Rock said he may run for president. You'd be a good VP candidate. I would imagine you two staying together would be pretty intimidating presence, I would imagine. But anything like that on the horizon?
DJ and JJ.
DJ I appreciate that. I appreciate that. No, I like the hours, man. Like same with coaching. I love coaching. I love working with players. I love talking ball. I love helping them improve. I love any way that I can help them. But it's the hours. It's the time commitment. Same with front office, with GM work or with anything in the front office. There's so much time commitment. I'm very, very fortunate. I played a game where you got to make a whole lot of money to chase a ball around for your whole career. And I'm very, very lucky that I got to do that. And it's now set me up in a position where I can pick and choose what I do moving forward. And for me, at least as of right now, I mean, who knows moving forward, but at least as of right now, the thing that I want to pick and choose the most is my family. I have a son. I have a 10.5-month-old son. And so I'm very fortunate I can get to come on this show every Wednesday from my house. And I get to now, after I'm done with the call, go hang out with my son. CBS is very fortunate to let me this fall only work the weekends that I choose. So we're going to do 6 to 8 weekends this fall.
Oh, it's breaking.
Okay.
I didn't want to retire to immediately jump back into all full-time positions. Now, when Koa starts running around and talking and maybe driving me crazy, who knows? Maybe my thoughts on that change. I'm sure parents out there are like, take a full-time job, man. But for right now, I want to spend time with him. I'm loving every second of it.
He's small guy?
He's a large human being, my friend. It's like a full-blown, you probably know by now, like my back is probably bigger than it was during my playing career just from carrying this kid around. It's insane.
So whenever we go in with my daughter, it's always like she's in the 87th percentile for height. And I'm like, hell yeah, girl. Okay, I like that. She's in the 78th for weight, 67th for brains or head size. I'm like, all right, brains bigger than everybody else is sweet. She's taller than everybody else. Awesome. Here we we go. How is it? Has that happened with you with Koa?
So we just did, obviously, like a month ago, we had to do his 9-month checkup. And they just like you said, they do his height, his weight. He's the 97th for height, 97th for weight. They did his head, and then they leave. And then she knocks on the door, she comes back. She's like, I'm sorry. I have to measure his head again. She's like, I need to measure it again. So I'm like, all right, go ahead. I don't care. And so she measures it again, and she goes, it was right. He has the head size of a 19-month-old. I was just like,
so proud. Were you so proud there in that moment? Or?
Oh, I was very proud. I was very proud. Just a gigantic noggin on this kid. We're going to have to make some hats really big for when this kid grows up.
Hey, God bless Mama for sure. And obviously, Koa is going to be a freak athlete at that size. Can't wait to see which NFL team gets another wide in the building. We're very lucky to have you. We appreciate you. Back on CBS this weekend?
No, I'm this weekend. We got Burnley Man United. I'll be watching from here, and next weekend I'm in Houston for the Ring of Honor, and I'm back on CBS the week after that.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, man. You're not in any Ring of Honors right now, so to hell with you.
Yeah, true.
Ladies and gentlemen, owner of Burnley FC. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
I
I didn't know if that was a dramatic pause or if that was a pause asking for confirmation.
Yeah, I should have done a little bit more, at the end of that whole thing there, a little good acting. Ladies and gentlemen, JJ White. Yeah, you want to talk about Brock Purdy? You said, I would like to talk about Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
This guy ain't getting paid a damn thing. This guy's getting paid absolutely nothing, and he is slicing and dicing for him, which is a massive weapon. He has somehow, even with a book out on him, maintained how good he was last year in his first 6 starts when nobody knew him.
Good play caller, obviously a good player, great weapons around him. The offensive line, if you look at him, probably man for man, probably not the most talented, but the scheme, like AQ talked about earlier, helps him out a ton. And what that offense has kind of been known for some years now is kind of, hey, take what they give you, dink and dunk, get the ball in the athlete's hands. But Brock Purdy is more so like, hey, I'm going to take what I want. I'm going to move my eyes, I'm going to control safeties, linebackers, and I'm going to, drop my nuts and throw that ball down the field. I think a perfect rating, I know the first week, throwing past the 6 and the quarterback.
We had Ayuk on our fantasy bench there. It feels like he and Ayuk have a great connection. Him and everybody seemingly have a good connection. Remember last year, whenever he came in, it was when Kittle picked up what Kittle had been doing. He's also a leader of men, which I think is what JJ was trying to talk about. He galvanizes that group. He's a leader. He's got that Jimmy G quality, AJ.
I mean, just watch like his poise in the pocket at all times. He reminds me, like when you watch him go down on a long drive, I'm sure you've seen it, Pat. When Tom Brady was rolling, when he would drive down the field, Tom would just walk super proudly between each play. I'm not comparing him, saying he's Tom Brady, obviously. Yeah, I'm saying from play to play, his poise and how he walks down the field and kind of stalks the opponent reminds you of what Tom would do.
Oh, so you're saying? Let me make sure I have this right as I take my. You're saying Brock Purdy, Tom Brady?
I'm saying how he reminds me of Tom when he how he stalks down the field when he's on a long drive.
So you're saying
he's never not in control. It seems like.
Okay.
I heard
So
that
you're
comparison in the
saying-
office last week too by somebody up in the state.
So you're saying
AQ
Super Bowl champion.
You're saying Brock Purdy,
What am I
Tom
saying?
Brady?
Second coming.
Brock Brady?
No, I just made a simple comparison of one thing that he does.
Tom Purdy?
That reminds me of Tom.
But that's
Gets rid of the ball very quickly too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big fan of anyone with a quick release.
Tom Brady does that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, Brock is awesome. Brock Purdy is awesome. I love watching the kid.
Brock changed his face yet?
All right.
Whoa,
Tony.
He's still young.
Dahn, he's not the only one, okay? We saw some other people on TV today for the first time. They got brand new faces. That's just a part of life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, science has
I
figured out a
know.
way.
Wasn't a shot. I was just asking.
Science has figured out a way to make people look younger. Today's show is brought to you by SeatGeek. We obviously love SeatGeek. Right now, you download the SeatGeek app. You can buy any football ticket with 15% off using the code
Pat15
at checkout. SeatGeek is the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. We appreciate SeatGeek. Obviously, they're the first ones to say, like, doing an hour free? Yeah, we would like to pay for that.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you doing anything? Yep, you guys, your show? Yep. All right, we want to be involved. We appreciate the hell out of SeatGeek, and they are the greatest because everything you buy is what you get. You're not going to get catfish, no, and they'll let you know if you're getting screwed, which not a lot of people will. So we appreciate SeatGeek. We appreciate JJ. We appreciate Jason Kelsey. We got Chris Carter in the next hour on YouTube and ESPN Plus. Sports Center will be on the other side of this 7-minute break as AJ gives you a motivational speech on this Wednesday.
Nope, and I do not have the countdown clock, so I have no idea how long until we get to ESPN, but great show today, Pat.
Great show. We'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Incredible.
You remember when I used to do that? I forgot I used to do that.
Oh, yeah. Now you do it with a heart out on ESPN. You do it as it's going to Sports Center.
I forgot I used to do that.
All the time.
That was literally in the moment. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I
Oh, yeah.
used to be able to put AJ in a terrible position. Because AJ loves motivational speeches. Isn't that like your big thing?
Yeah, they work every day. They always work.
Okay, so we got 4 NFL guys right now currently sitting on microphones. Okay, right now. Darius, how do you feel about motivational speeches?
You know what I heard one last night? Kirby Smart, halftime. It's pretty legit. So it depends. I think the timing, the delivery, who it is, when it happens.
Let's give a percentage. That you've heard as a football player. But
I would say about 8%.
Okay, 8%. We got 8%
That's
to work.
pretty high.
That's not bad at all.
not bad.
AQ Shipley, your thoughts on motivational speeches? Give a percentage of the amount of speeches that you've been told since you got into big-time college football at Penn State through your NFL career that really got you going and needed to be heard and worked.
0.0003%.
Whoa,
There was one? There was one?
Yeah,
Wait,
wait, that's a small. Hold on, that number sounds oddly familiar. 0.0003%.
Yeah.
There was some other. Wasn't that a stat?
Yeah, that was a stat.
That was.
Oh, you mean the denominator?
I think that was. I think that was.
There was a denominator in it.
What was the 0.0003 though? That had to be a really serious.
whose was it?
It was Tom's.
Tom.
It was Tom's before the Super Bowl. The same one that
Yeah, the same
he
one
gave
he
to
did
New England.
in New England a couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that thing was awesome.
It was
I didn't know it was recycled.
Oh yeah.
I wish I never found out it was recycled because that thing was awesome.
It's been leaked once before the Seattle Super Bowl.
Your family's honored.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That one, right?
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
And you what? Put the helmet on and ran right into a wall?
Yeah, I was ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of like walking out, and then I was like, wait a second, I'm going to stick around for this one.
Okay. So you're 0.0003%.
That's it.
You're 8%. AJ, why don't you give a take on the percentages of motivational speeches that have really scratched you where you itch?
It depends when you start, because in high school, I was very impressionable, would do anything for my coaches because I had so much respect for them, and they legit would give, like, they would never call it a pregame speech, but how we would talk to the team for 30 seconds before we go out would, yes, they absolutely worked. But then in college, Jim Tressel, he definitely would never say, hey, I'm going to give you a motivational speech. He was just an inspiring dude and was awesome. But then after that, I think as you grow up, you just don't, we don't really need them anymore. Like, we just don't, like, if you're not intrinsically motivated, you don't deserve to be a professional athlete, I think.
So when those people were talking, you just had to put a percentage on how many really worked and, kind of
I think the best ones are organic. The best ones are totally organic. When someone that usually doesn't speak all of a sudden speaks, and you're like, okay, I can feel the passion coming from this person, and I know it's real because they don't try to do it only when the camera's here. We all know the people that, oh, there's a camera. Hey, everyone hold up. Here we go. Make sure the camera gets me in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Those are tough sometimes.
We had a teammate like that.
We did.
Who?
We're not
You
going
had a guy do slam poetry, you said.
Oh, no, that was at the rookie show, and that was one of the most obnoxious things. The least amount of self-awareness I've ever seen out of a human in my entire life was during that rookie show doing slam poetry, thinking that we were going to do this.
Snap it up.
Like, we get it, pal. But, like, there was a guy on our team who I think we all liked as a human. But the whole song and dance was a little bit old for his production.
Sure.
Because you have to be good, too. Like, you, if you're going to talk, you got to be good. Because if you talk and you're not good, then it's like, oh, we hate this guy.
Shut up.
So it's like,
make a play.
That's real, yeah. All right, so why don't you shut your mouth, okay? And why don't you help us? And I'm the punter, so I'm not saying this. I am just a part of the crowd observing and reporting about what is working, what's not working. I'm never talking in front of anybody, okay? That needs to be known in the football world. Kickers and they had that girl. Remember they had that girl?
Oh, yeah, Sarah Fuller.
For Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
They had this girl. She was a great soccer player.
Yeah.
Stud soccer player, very good. Had a big leg, kicked the ball well, I think. Like, not going to be in the NFL, but kicked the ball. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen, by the way. It takes a lot of explosion to be able to move a ball as big. Maybe there will come a lady who can do it, but I don't think. But, like, They had her speak at halftime to the team, and I think Sarah Fuller got bamboozled in that whole thing.
They get their asses beat.
And
too.
they make this girl go speak, and then all of a sudden, that's just like a setup for everybody.
It was her first week on the team.
First week playing football.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we need you to speak to the team at halftime. I'm like,
Yep.
did anybody tell her that punters and kickers, first of all, never, ever speak to, like, we are not.
Even
you know what I
Vinny.
mean? There's no reason. Vinatieri, like, when he spoke, though, felt like Vinatieri. When Vinatieri spoke, people listened.
Yeah.
But he didn't do a lot of talking. It wasn't
There's no Al Pacino in real life. There's no Any Given Sunday Al Pacino speeches going on in real life. I mean, there is maybe, but that one with the music and how dramatic it is makes it awesome. I'm like, it's not exactly like that usually.
Yeah, so we would like to let Sarah Fuller know you got bamboozled.
Yeah, no, had no shot.
The fact that anybody told her that, like, hey, you should go rally the troops.
Time. Yeah.
And like in the movies, you know, and in the that's why I brought this up, because in like the media and in the movies, boy, they love the person that's doing the speaking.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if it's been chatted about enough that behind the scenes, normally that person talking is getting cooked by everybody. Like, okay, you're doing a sitcom right now. You are doing, this is a movie you are doing. This is real life here, not working. So I think Sarah got bamboozled. I would like to go on the record of stating that, but I'm happy we're having this convo because there's a lot of people that think those are real and like, that matters. And I think there's a lot of young kids that think that's how they're supposed to be. And it's like you're almost setting yourself up to be hated if you do that too much is the whole thing.
What about like the Kelsey thing? Like the night before the Super Bowl? Because in the Kelsey doc, he had
Those
an
are real,
entire.
yeah. I don't think those are motivational speeches either.
Yeah, those aren't. Yeah, it didn't seem like that. But are those speeches?
That doesn't
like,
count?
Do those actually help?
I mean, that's my 8%. That counts.
Yeah, but listen, I put it at 5%. And if Kelsey's giving a speech up there the night before a Super Bowl, I think that is.
It was
Yeah, but
so
those are
good
more-
too.
Those are more experience, right? Like those are like, hey, listen, like we've been through this journey together. I don't think that's meant to be like, hey, this is going to get us going for tomorrow's game. That's just like rehashing, talking about the brotherhood, all
That's
that stuff.
campfire,
right?
You were saying.
Like, yeah, I think.
But I'm counting
You see how much
those.
he cares. You see how much he cares about you.
But a lot of those people that speak the night before games too, they suck too. I mean, we saw the
Really?
Jason Kelsey one; it was good. There's a lot of people that are speaking in front of teams that are not, you know.
Yeah, like Peyton before the Super Bowl, or even Aaron before this. Like, was there any for
Peyton,
either of you?
Peyton, he wasn't a big, you know, for how much.
It's the Super Bowl. I don't think you need it.
But
is
I
all
think
I'm
he did
saying.
say
I don't think you need a
something.
big rah-rah.
I don't remember. I was a rookie. The only thing I remember is we changed hotels again the night of the Super Bowl, and it was like a whole song and dance here, going to another hotel. Then we had to check in and we do that whole thing. We had the meeting. I don't remember if anybody spoke the night before.
Really?
I assume Peyton said something. You know,
Yeah, had to.
Peyton talks to the offense. Like offense talks to the offense.
Yeah.
Defense talks to the defense. Like there's always that. I'm in just the team meeting part and the special teams meeting part. I don't know how often a lot of people are talking. You know?
Well, he was so like intense and into it too that like he'd do that shit in real time if he needed to. You know, like if
Snap the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Like, "Hey, shut up, Jeff. just block. Like he doesn't need to. Like I don't need to do this in the locker room because if something needs to be said, like I'll fucking say it on the sideline.
He was a great leader. He was an incredible leader. And if he was to speak ever, everybody would listen because they know they had to. Because that's the quarterback, head coach, and the general manager talking.
Yeah.
Cut your ass
at the same time. You know what I mean? He's the guy. Jim Irsay speaking now. That's must listen.
Mm-hmm.
When he's doing the songs, remember that?
What do you do?
yeah.
What do you
Song and
What
Hard
happened?
Knocks.
What do you two
What happened?
have?
Someone fart or something? Why are you laughing?
Oh, Butch.
I don't know, Derek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Butch.
D-Butch.
Butch.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
Butch.
The floor is yours,
I
Derek.
get his fight.
And you,
Hey,
and your
Butch.
follow.
His reaction got a good pop.
He's putting that 8% too. We got the quote right outside the locker room too. I'm sure.
That's right.
Yeah, banger.
You're
Like
right.
When
the
you walk in
circle?
this locker room, it's a
Can you
circle.
After the
You can
win.
recite that, right?
It's like
you
a
know it
ring.
word for word?
It's not a circle. It's like a circle. There's no edges. It's a circle. And your obligation to everybody else in the circle is to make sure that the circle is as strong as the circle can be. And that's Jim Irsay.
Yep.
Michael Scott.
That's right.
Boom.
That's how it goes. Right outside the locker room. The boys are winning.
Yeah.
The boys are winning.
Jim Irsay, Michael Scott, the guy who married
Chuck and
Larry.
which is the you can do it guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Circle.
Rob
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider. Yeah, there it is.
He's the one that did it. Listen, everybody needs to stop laughing, okay? And depending upon how many times you read this quote outside the locker room, I guess that would change the percentage. Can we? Do we have that? Can we get that? Yep, please, thank you. Depending upon how many times you read this, I guess changes the percentage of motivational speeches working.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Like for instance, I'm walking into that Colts locker room and I'm reading that thing every day. So that's one motivational speech from Jim Irsay every single day.
Wow.
That's hitting. So I'm probably up to 50, 55%.
Yeah.
If that is right out there.
So you're on your way out too.
Oh yeah, why not take a little peek?
Twice a day.
Yeah.
Did I fulfill my obligation to circle today? That's a good question. When you walk in the locker room, there's a circle. And my obligation to everyone in that locker room is the circle has to be as strong as possible to give us a chance to win. I don't know how that was the quote.
That's amazing.
I don't know how that was the quote.
That's what he said.
Kind of like the chain, the weakest link. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Is that kind of a take on this?
I think, you know what? Everybody kind of takes it. It's
Those
art.
are my favorite.
Everybody kind of takes it their own way.
Whenever you walk into the locker room, there's a chain link on everyone's chair.
That's right. Don't be the weak
Don't be.
Jets did
Don't
that.
be.
Don't be the missing one, and don't be the weak one.
That's right.
But when you read this, AQ, what does it do? You ready to flip that table and kind of go through it?
Yeah, this might move it up to 0.00032%.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You only read it one time. We can start reading that thing every single day and kind of up those
Might
numbers.
get up to 1.
Yeah. Didn't Joe Pa ever get you guys going?
I really
In a
don't think
different
he ever
way,
spoke
yeah.
before a game.
Really?
I think he was like Andy Reid. Like, there we go. Andy Reid never says anything.
Beast.
It's awesome.
Hey, Kush.
Nebraska.
He was worried about Nebraska.
He was.
In the HBO mock stock that we seen.
Man, oh, man.
He was much more worried about Nebraska than anything else. And he played Nebraska 45 straight years. That was crazy. He seemingly knew a lot about Nebraska. But he just couldn't help but learn more and more and more. And more. And he kept going on.
And on and on and on and on.
Hey, Penn State's got a team this year.
Big game this week. Me and Ty.
Hey, let's go, though, right? I mean, Illinois was a little bit of a song and dance, but I've gone on the record, both on the college football game day, college football show, and on our show. I think this year is different for Penn State. Do you agree with that or no?
Yeah, I did.
You put your head down immediately.
Well, because I did.
got
And
more
then
belief
I didn't
in
like
them
the
than
way they
him.
looked against Illinois. I didn't like the way.
Yeah,
they
but a
looked.
lot of teams laid an egg this past week.
What is that? Just a week 3? Everybody goes to sleep.
I don't know. You're dealing with 18 to 45-year-olds now in college football.
Yeah, I saw a kid
Yep.
just
Miami.
applied for his 10th year, right?
Yeah,
He's been in since 2016.
And Tez Walker can't play.
Yep.
Okay. I'm about sick of it. Okay. About sick of it. The NCAA is a sham and a mockery. And the more stuff we hear, there's a kicker for Virginia is 30.
Yeah. Yes.
Marine.
31.
Thank you for your service, obviously. But he's admitted in there because his clock never started, I guess, because he went to the Marines or whatever. And there's people getting extra years because of COVID. And this guy transferring. Aussies are coming in at the age of 25, 26. American dream taking place. And this Tez guy can't just get. Why can't we just let him fucking play? What do we even. No human in the entire college football world thinks he shouldn't play, except for the assholes at the NCAA that are upholding the rules.
You should go down the street. Isn't it? The NCAA is here.
Should. Oh, yeah, that's
They
and
don't like
give
me.
one of those
I don't-
motivational speeches to them about this.
Buddy, I've been crushing the NCAA for what? Since the day we got on a microphone. I am not a believer in that operation down there. I don't think there's any brains there.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any brains there. I assume there's good people in there somewhere, but everything they do that gets made public is like dumb, bad, stupid, not the right way about going things in my eyes. The Tez one for sure. Now let's get back to Penn State though. You don't believe in them. Why? Because they had a bad week?
No, I believe in them. I'm a big believer in the quarterback. I think the quarterback's a stud, and I just think they got to get the passing game going. Like I think, there was a lot of hype going in. Like they're going to score a ton of points. They're going to do this. I thought their passing offense looked terrible against Illinois. Now maybe Illinois is better than I gave them credit for. Who knows?
Illinois the first couple of weeks were 120th in defense or something like
Perfect.
that.
There it is. There's my answer.
The whole secondary went to the league. Yeah. Bad shit got drafted.
Oh, they lost a lot of people?
Yeah, everyone.
I think
the Illinois bloggers told me I didn't know ball whenever I said they lost their whole defense. Even defense coordinator's not there. Defense coordinator gone, whole secondary gone. That's going to be a little difficult to pick up, but it seems like you think they have. They found it this year. The new Illinois defense played against you guys well.
They looked good against us. I mean, it took them a while. They obviously covered. They did their thing at the end, but like the running game was solid. But they got a stud NFL quarterback. They got good receivers. Like, let's go, get some scheme going.
Who's the OC?
He's from Youngstown State. Mike
Oh, so he's a dog.
Yancich, is that his name?
Yeah, it seems like he's
that.
I think it's Tressel. Jim Tressel.
Yeah.
What?
Tressel disciple,
Or
right?
Bo Pelini.
President.
I think they're both at Youngstown State, to be honest with you.
Youngstown State is where everybody goes. You just kind of find your way down into Youngstown.
Yeah, they
Great
do
city,
that,
great
yeah.
place. Iowa's defense, very good. So
Very
it's going to
good.
be another one of those.
Great coach, too, right?
You'll be able to
Parker?
find it out.
Yeah, Phil Parker. I mean, Iowa, too, is like they've always kind of played Penn State well. They play to the level of their competition, which is why a lot of times, like, they'll be 8-0, and then they'll fucking get beat by Northwestern by 2 touchdowns at home because they kind of just play to whoever their competition is. I think they'll get up for this one, though, in Happy Valley, night game. We'll see. They didn't look that great last week. I mean, they beat the shit out of Western Michigan, but they should. Cade McNamara is still kind of banged up, which worries me a little bit, but I think it's going to be a good game. I think Penn State's 14.5-point favorites. I don't know if they'll win. I hope they do, but I fully expect Iowa to cover.
Maybe AI Ferentz will call plays too.
That'd be cool.
That's our favorite.
They'd
Our
win.
favorite Ferentz is the AI A1. AI one. College got a lot of great games. Colorado going to Oregon.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Unreal.
Without Travis Hunter,
not good.
That's wrong time to lose your guy. That kind of scares me. I've been a big Colorado supporter since the very beginning because I support Prime. I think Shador's an absolute dog. But Travis Hunter is the difference maker. Obviously, 136 plays over the first 2 weeks. Him to get hurt now going into Oregon, then USC next week.
Yeah.
Could be a tough couple weeks, but that's a big-time game, AJ, on ABC at 3:30.
It's going to be fun to watch. I mean, they have tons of talent. That's what you've mentioned before. There's a lot of talent on the team we probably haven't even seen play yet because of who is running. It's like probably almost, I'm not going to claim like an Alabama, how deep Alabama would be at time. Oh, their fourth-string running backs getting drafted,
Makes
stuff
sense.
like that. I'm big on comparisons today to big-time institutions and big-time players.
No, you're right, though. It is. We haven't even seen the depth. Because they have 80 new players this year, and we haven't really seen much of it because we haven't had to. Now we're going to check it out. 2 positions, obviously. Travis out is corner, wide receiver. Who's going to make up for explosive plays? Weaver, that wide receiver with the dreads, he is
beast,
phenomenal. Their tight end, 87. I forget who he is. He's big, fast, strong. Seems to be
had a big game.
Yeah, he'll be the guy I think without Travis Hunter, alongside the Weaver or whatever.
20-point dogs.
Yeah.
I heard.
Cover.
Yeah, both their wideouts, him and Jimmy Horn Jr. are both from USF, both USF transfers.
Great. I can't wait to see how they handle it. But Oregon's a great football team. And then obviously all eyes are on South Bend, Indiana.
That's right.
As Ohio State travels in to take on Notre Dame. We'll be there live on Friday from the game day set, which I believe is on the field near Touchdown Jesus.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I believe.
It's on,
On
the
that
quad.
little
On the quad.
complex.
I don't know. Is that what it's called?
That's what I call a lot of grass on a lot of campuses.
That is what they call it in Bama.
They did call it that in Bama, and I assume other places they've called it that. We're not 100% sure, but are you confident in this Ohio State team here against Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame?
I am. I like, honestly, what Ohio State's defense is doing. I hope they can get some pressure on Sam Hartman. I think that guy could pick you apart if you let him sit there.
Estimate, too, dog.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, offensive line, great.
Ohio State wants to run the ball, too, though. That's the thing. Like, they've been
Quick
running
game.
it well.
What's the over-under there? What's the line?
That's a good question. The line is 2.5 or 3. Ohio State is favored.
Okay. Wow. And what's the over-under? Because it sounds like this is going to be a quick game.
Oh, yeah, a lot of.
Yeah.
Home dogs. Whoa.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy, especially with the vibes, allegedly, what it's going to be this weekend. And
Yeah.
Yes, and with
quarterback, too, at Ohio State and all that, and you home, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's great. With how Notre Dame has played, it is.
Chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, I'm sure Freeman's bringing it up, if I had to guess.
Down from, it started at 63.5. It's down to 55.5.
Yeah, it's quick 8 points out there. As the people started talking about, like, probably going to run the rock a lot. Probably going to run the rock a lot. Oh, okay, it's going to be a quick one, probably. Not a lot of turnovers, unless there's a fumble here and there. So you start whittling away at those points. I think we're in for a good one. I cannot wait to get to South Bend on Friday. Hopefully you will come join us. We've heard there's a little bit of a buzz.
There is some
little bit of a buzz.
I mean, Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, listen to what Coach Freeman said about the weekend and the hype around this particular game. I cannot believe this being real. Yeah. I thought this was AI when it got sent to me. This is not AI. Here's Coach Freeman chit-chatting about the buzz in South Bend.
We're excited about, the chance to go against a top-tier opponent for sure. And we're excited about just the atmosphere, the experience that's going to be here with College Game Day and the Pat McAfee Show.
Whoa.
How about
it?
Oh. Whoa.
Boom.
Why?
He wanted you to wear a Notre Dame tank, by the way.
Pretty cool.
What's that, pal?
He wanted you to wear a Notre Dame tank on the show.
Okay, well, I want to wear a split jersey, but we can't all have
Yeah,
it. So
exactly.
You know what I mean? I would like. What's that?
I guess neither of them will happen, right?
No, well, you tell me. Well,
I don't know. Got to talk to my mother-in-law. She's got to find that thing, if so.
Oh, it's
framed in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Where's?
Yep.
Hey, General Bob Carpenter. I know you know your way around.
Yeah.
Every house that the Hawk family has. Need you to find that split jersey. Yes, let's call Bobby. Let's make sure we get face to face.
It's not in my house.
Yeah, but there's a lot of houses. You know what I mean?
Come on, Hawk.
You know it, Hawker.
You switch.
I'll wear that tank top of Coach Freeman. And thank you, Coach Freeman, for the love.
Our draft class too. 09 draft class.
Freeman?
Yeah, we were in the Senior Bowl together.
Yeah.
He was on North?
Yeah. What did you think?
Did you guys win that game?
Nah.
Ooh. Sorry.
North-South kind of, you know.
Well, they put West Virginia on the South, even though.
They put USC on the South, too.
Yeah, we did. We had Ray Maluga.
Really?
We had Brian
Cushing.
Yeah. We had that whole
You had
crew.
Clay, too? You had Clay. Well,
Yeah, we had, that's how I got along. That's how I met all these guys. It was awesome. It was great. We're on the bus. It was like the whole superstar crew.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. Good dudes, by the way. All of Ray Maluga's head.
Ray would not, like, I'm telling you, watch some footage of Ray back. Lineman, hey, I'm just going to pull around here. Nope. Ray is going to hit him in the side of the head, and the guy's going to go cold. That happened all the time.
He was incredible, too. Very cool. Yeah, we got the big-time win. Pat White, obviously, MVP. That's what Pat does. If it's college football and Pat White's playing, he's going to win, and he's going to get the MVP. Joining us now is a man that we need to go snoop around. Ladies and gentlemen, the General Bob Carpenter.
Attaboy, General.
General, thank you for making time for us here, and we understand you're on the move, and this was kind of unplanned. Need you, General, you hear me?
I got you.
Coach, need you to find this split jersey that Laura wore whenever AJ took on Brady for this Friday show. I need it. We need it. Is there any way you could find this for us?
All right, well, I'll try to sneak up to the house. Laura told me that it was up there somewhere. I got to find it. I think it might be in a box, but I'll see what I can do.
Yes. Thank you, General. We appreciate it. That's all we need to hear. We know you're on it. He brought football back in the Big Ten.
He'll find it.
I assume he'll be able to bring that split jersey back. You didn't think I was going to do that, AJ? When I said to you last night, I said,
I
need
definitely
that split.
thought you were.
I
definitely thought, first off, I don't want to cut you off when you called me last night to tell me about the jersey, but I 100% thought you would absolutely call Bob and tell him to come and find it.
So as he was giving me the song and dance last night on the FaceTime, I'm like, hey, Bob, need the split jersey on Friday. Yeah. And he goes, I don't know where it is. I haven't seen that thing. You're going to have to ask somebody else for that whole thing. I'm like, are we making one or do you have one? He goes, yeah, you should probably make one. I don't know where it's at. And I tell him, I'm going to have General Bob Carpenter search your entire fucking house. How about that? He goes, General Bob won't be able to find it. I don't even know where it is. I don't know where it is. Like the whole song.
Of course.
The whole thing.
I can search my house all you want. You can tear my house apart. I know it's not here.
Which one?
It's my mother-in-law's had it from the jump. She's had it somewhere in storage from whenever it happened.
Hey, come on, Chopper. We need you.
Call Chop.
We need to call Chop. We need to call
We'll
Chop.
get it. We'll find a way. You just can't. I think she actually wants it back, though, if we take it. Her mom does.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, we will bring it back. Sir.
What do you think we're going to do?
We're not going to do it.
AJ's going to try to burn it.
It'd be easy
I
to
might
forget
steal
it. That's the thing. I don't want to forget it.
Hey, so real talk, though, just as we're having our laughs about this, Laura hates that thing because of how big of a deal it got?
Yeah, she doesn't want any coverage over anything. So, yeah.
Because that became the story, right?
Oh, yeah.
Zoom in on
Yeah, we're
her.
just naive. We're just super naive. We had no clue.
And you hated it. After you guys were removed 2 weeks from it, you look back on it, wow.
Such a bad idea.
We hated everything about it. Is that what happened at the Hawk House about it?
I mean, we just thought, man, if we had to do that over again, we wouldn't do that.
Look at how awesome it is, though. Look at how beautiful.
Don't do that. Oh, she's going to kill somebody.
It's
Oh, no.
This is so good.
It's a neat jersey.
Joking.
That's what I'm talking.
This is good, Laura.
Yeah.
You're awesome, sister.
Yep.
Significant other.
Right.
Come on. You did it. You started the whole craze. Now they're all everywhere. Everybody's doing it. You know what I mean?
What?
All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side with Chris Carter. Excited to get his take. He's an Ohio State legend.
20 years ago, by the way. 20 years ago.
Don't matter.
Still matters.
Okay.
Still matters. You know what I mean? Still being talked about. Put
What are
that thing
you
in
saying?
the
Carter.
fucking Hall of Fame.
Why isn't
Dayton,
that in
Ohio.
the College Football Hall of Fame?
Why is it not hanging?
Chris Carter, Middletown, Ohio, by the way.
What's this guy's problem?
Dayton. We used to play them.
Yeah, hold on.
Chris a little bit older than you, but I understand the school references.
Yeah.
Does Sun Tzu not matter
Schwarber
because
too,
he
right?
was a while ago?
Yeah, Sun Tzu was what?
Is he dead or is he alive?
Very dead.
Yep.
Deader than. He's very dead.
Things still matter.
His offspring lives on.
So it makes me wonder if he really wrote it. You know, how can he die that long ago and people still, well, I guess Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side with Chris Carter. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5. We have some massive news.
Lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wish for. None left over for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to conclusion, no one's touching it. Just finished and made a voyage. I've been on the main burn, set up shop to kill them off, whatever it takes. I see the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals. I could give a fuck who try and get along. 6'3", you can't look me in the eyes.
Thank you, man.
Welcome the incomparable Pat McAfee.
But as soon as we get backstage, I see Serena Williams like 6 feet from me. I'm like, oh my God.
Hello, hello, hello. You look fantastic. Massive room. Did not expect to see this many incredibly important humans to the media world.
And then all of a sudden, guess who pops by? Ryan Seacrest.
Bro, Ryan Seacrest, how are you? Congratulations.
Legend, bro. And holy shit, Ryan Seacrest is here.
Honestly, your work ethic is something that people really inspire you.
Why am I here? Great question. Sweet cowboy hat. How you doing, dude? Makes me look thinner.
The Kardashians?
Bullshit.
Come out of the elevator?
Hey, good luck out there.
Thank you. My show, my guys and I will be joining the ESPN universe. And we are so incredibly pumped, honored, and thankful to be doing that. And a lot of people are wondering, why would you ever want to do that when you run a couple $100 million valued company with full independence and the ability to kind of do whatever I want, whenever I want, with my crew that is one of the hardest working group of men on this earth. And it's because I had the incredible opportunity over the last 2 months to chit chat with the leadership at ESPN.
I go up to a lounge, Alex Honnold, the guy that was climbing?
Yeah, sure.
I'm like, holy fuck, that's that guy who just hangs off the side of cliffs or whatever.
And I think the future of sports media is certainly something that we're kind of creeping in on. Digital has become an influence. It has the structure. It has the ability to reach millions and millions of people.
Dan Orlovsky, after his riveting performance on the stage, which it was,
gets a Shirley Temple.
He got wine.
Okay. Wow.
The future obviously says that linear television is going to be dead. ESPN, the channel, won't be able to exist. But when is that? Is that a year from now? 10 years from now? 20 years from now? Can we get to 25, maybe 30, 35, 40? By that time, I'm 65, 70 years old, and I've completely missed out on the powerhouse that is ESPN Linear. So when I was talking to Jimmy and Burt Magnus and the Bob father, Bob Iger, somehow got a chance to be in his office for an hour and a half in Burbank. That was bananas. He's now talking, I think, to the leader of France. Dumbest life of all time continues. But they all very much understood that we need to embrace both what tomorrow is and what today is. And I have the exact same vision.
Then Joe Buck, Troy Aikman come walking in.
I'm very thankful to announce that we'll be on ESPN, ESPN Plus, the ESPN app, and for the first time, I do believe in all of sports media, we'll be live on ESPN's YouTube at the exact same time. Jimmy, Burke, Bob understood that 98% of male Gen Zers use YouTube on a daily basis. So being live there and on ESPN, we should be able to reach the entire world, hopefully, if I don't fuck it up, which I might have just did by saying the F word in this room right here.
You met the real DeMar Hamlin, not Michael B. Jordan.
Are you sure?
Not the actor, not the clone.
How's the upfront? He is in Disney movies.
The clones look exactly the same as real people.
That's the actual clone type.
It is an incredibly special time for me. This is my first time out of my house in 2 weeks. My wife and I actually, boom, first baby. She just started farting 2 days ago. Real deal. That was a game changer. But my wife, my baby, my guys, and everybody that I know are honored to be a part of the ESPN family, and we hope that we'll be able to work with all of you. Cheers, and have an incredible day.
Good, man. How you doing? You good? Don't keep running the world, though.
Hey, no, that's you, dude. That's you. That's you.
Trip to New York, I think, was a success. The upfront was hilarious. I had no idea that room was going to be that big.
This is awesome, isn't it?
That was the most suits I've ever seen in my entire life. We're pumped to join the family, and I am very grateful that they're going to let us do it our way. And I said fuck it at Disney upfront. So.
This would be a pretty legendary thing later in life. You'll probably look at it and say, "Oh, that was a pretty good decision."
All right. the next chapter begins. Ain't that right, Mickey?
Hell yeah.
Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, you know, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Hey,
Why?
let's go! This show sticks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, September 30th, 2023. Hour 3 of this program starts right now. Football! It is the greatest sport on earth. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Town Diggs is here. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler's here. 12-year NFL vet and Super Bowl champion A.Q. Shipley's here. And the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, and a man who has great history in this Ohio State-Notre Dame matchup coming up this weekend. That's A.J. Hall. Joining us now is not only an Ohio legend, but an Ohio State legend, a Hall of Famer in the NFL, and a man who we don't get to talk to enough, but every time he's on this show, he fucking kills it. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Carter. Yes! How we doing, man?
Good, man. Let me flip you around real quick.
Hey, you do what you got to do. The house looks good. Oh, wow. What's that back there?
That's called the Thunderdome, dog.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, welcome to the Thunderdome. We wish we could be in there. Your house is beautiful. Incredible career. Great to see you, Chris. You look great.
Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you, man. How you guys doing?
Just busy as hell, Chris. You know, football season, once it gets started, it's kind of a nonstop watching football thing, and we're lucky to do it. I think you got to move to your right.
Boom.
There you go.
Boom.
We're figuring
Congrats on all the success, too, man.
We're busy, Chris. You know, we're just very busy, you know, trying to figure it all out, enjoy it. What are your thoughts here early in this football season? You follow college much? Do you watch NFL? Is it all football? What is it for you?
It's all football for me. And NFL will always be first. And college football, always watching that closely. It's wide open this year, just like the NFL. So, man, everybody's watching what's going on with my boy Prime there in Colorado. So,
I think they've changed the conversation about college football out there. You know what I mean? Because there's a business side of it too, which I think a lot of us who are NFL fans, we appreciate the business side of the NFL. We like to see what the deals are, who's making what, the pressure, what are the numbers, the ratings, the TV deals.
Yes.
It's like Dahn has taken all of that and made it very prevalent in Colorado, where I think he's getting a percentage of ticket sales. So we're like watching that place sell out. They're on prime time now every single weekend. Now 10 p.m. is a little bit too late of a start. Yeah. But all eyes are on Colorado, a team that lost 11 games last year for, I think it's like the fourth time in FBS history that a team has started 3-0. They might actually win too, Chris. It's not just bullshit. It's not just hype. Like, they're an actual good team, and I think they're going to be that way for the rest of the season, Chris.
Deion's always been special. He's always been elite at anything that he's done. When he first showed up in the NFL, he had a hat on and glasses. So when the coach started saying stuff like that last, I was like, oh, he doesn't know who he's dealing with. Don't get caught up in the flash. He is a brilliant, brilliant athlete. He is a great communicator. And the thing that he has that most elite athletes don't have, and the reason why they're not good teachers or coaches, he has a tremendous amount of patience with young people and realizing that they are not him. Deion Sanders is the real deal.
You know what else is the real deal? That backdrop. Hey, we just cut to you full screen.
Whoa.
Hey, every once in a while you got to remind yourself, Chris. Every once in a while you got to remind yourself out there.
I was talking to someone. They asked me, "Could you send a resume?" I said, oh, "Here it is."
All right, Ohio State's got Notre Dame this weekend. It's a big one. Game day will be there. This Ohio State team, brand new quarterback this year. They just boat raced somebody this past weekend. How do you feel about Ohio State? Are we winning the Natty with a new quarterback? And what about Marvin Harris Jr., who just happens to be maybe the most talented wide receiver college football has seen, Chris?
No, he's definitely the most talented wide receiver in college football. As far as their quarterback situation, you have to trust the coach. The coach has developed other good quarterbacks, and you got to go back on history. That offense that they have there in Columbus been developed by him. So I trust him that he's going to do the right thing. And you got to give kids reps, man. We want this instantaneous success. We want guys to be, as soon as they touch the field, to be successful. I mean, it used to be a grind to this thing. Football is very, very difficult. And nothing makes me more upset than people that played the game and they get on shows like this and they act as if the game is easy or if it was ever easy. Man, it was never, ever easy the first day. It was never easy on the last day. And I don't know why people have that misconception as far as the process is. We all need the process.
Yeah, people forget whenever they get on a microphone. Go ahead, AJ.
Chris, how long do you think it takes? I know you've caught touchdown passes from many different quarterbacks at all different levels. We're talking about Ohio State working in a new quarterback, Kyle McCord here. For him and the receivers to get on the same page, does it just take game reps over and over to kind of build that rapport? And how quickly do you think you can get that?
Well, one of the things, too, AJ, that we don't know we don't know what's the ceiling on this athlete. Like, how much development does he have left? And when he gets on the field, man, there are people you see when there's 30,000, they're terrified. When there's 130,000, they don't care. They can't hear one thing. So we forget all those things as far as what makes someone special. Can they respond? Can they take coaching? Are they open? Can they continue to learn? So I do believe they're doing the right things. I thought the rotation the first couple of games was the right thing to do, but now you're getting down to it's time to get paid. So now you got to put the guy in there who you believe can throw the ball, and especially They got 3 or 4 pro wide receivers. I mean, Brian Hartline, goodness gracious, what he's doing there every single year. I mean, they're stacked at wide receivers, and I believe Marvin Harrison will go down as one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest ever, Buckeye wide receiver that's played college football.
Well, you're an Ohio State Buckeye legend, obviously, who had great success in college. And then in the NFL, we all know now you're Hall of Famer and legend of the game. Let's talk about the NFL. Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings a little bit. A little bit different this year than last year, Chris. You know, a little bit different. Now, I don't think Kirk is the issue, though, right? Kirk is not seemingly the problem. You got people in New York saying, we'll trade for Kirk Cousins right now. Get him over here. Get him out of there. What does this year look like for the Vikings, you think, after this first 2-week start?
Well, I'm going to take you back to last year. And last year, they could have easily finished 10-7. I mean, all those late-minute comebacks. And to me, they're not a team that has – they're not the top 10 talented teams in the NFL. I do like what they're doing as far as their front office, their general manager, the type of players they're looking at, and with their coach. I do believe that he is special. So for me, I thought there was going to be a correction coming this season. Kirk Cousins has never been the problem in Minnesota, but they're undersized on the offensive line. Their center's undersized. Now their center's hurt. Their best offensive lineman, left tackle, he's been out. You let Dalvin Cook walk out the door as if anybody can rush for 1,500 yards. It's just waking up like that's going to be easy to replace. Adam Thielen, his leadership's gone from there. So for me, I'm not surprised that a correction wouldn't come. I got shocked when they lost to Tampa Bay week number 1, but you know, it's going to be a tough, long season there in Minnesota.
And Tampa looks a lot better than any of us could have imagined. Mm-hmm. Congrats to Baker.
Yeah.
Congrats to Baker. Seemingly finding it down there. Excited to see how it goes. Darius has a question for you.
Yes, sir. CC, you talked about it being a grind. Obviously, football being hard. Great to see you, man. But wide receiver seems like one of those positions where guys are kind of hitting the ground running. You saw Justin Jefferson come in and be great early. Jamar Chase, Chris Olave. What is it about that position in today's NFL that it seems like these guys come in and are productive almost immediately?
Bro, it's good seeing you, man. I think you do a great job on the show.
Hell yeah, D-Butt.
Appreciate you, CC.
No, you'll do a great job on the show. But the reason why wide receivers, and it's because of the culture of football. And that culture doesn't just start at the NFL. It starts to the moms start taking little 8-year-old Johnny and Susie out and playing flag football. So right now, the coaching of younger kids is better than ever. 7-on-7, flag footballs at an all-time high. And then also, so now guys are comfortable with the ball in their hands. So now when you go to college, guess what Nick Saban likes to do? He's going to throw the ball. Guess what LSU is doing now? They're throwing the ball. Guess what Ohio State's doing now? They're throwing the ball. So wide receiver is the old running back. We used to go get running backs into the NFL and just put him back there and he could tote the rock.
Yep.
Now wide receivers are that because they played so much wide receiver. People are throwing the ball at earlier ages. So that overall development is now in the NFL. It's nice that college football is so exciting with the passing game. So that's the reason why we see guys developing and putting up big numbers earlier in their career.
Justin Jefferson, alien, bro. He seems like since day one, right? I mean, how often have you chatted with him? But watching him just kind of do his thing, regardless, he's getting like 120 in the first half, and everybody knows he's the focal point of the offense. Why is he so special, and how much have you gotten a chance to interact with him?
Well, I interact with him an awful lot. He's a very, very humble individual. He respects the great tradition of wide receivers that we've had there in the purple. He wants information of how to get better. He does everything the right way around the facility. I mean, they are going to pay him probably $34 to $38 million within the next year.
Hey, way to go. Way to go, wide receivers.
Damn.
Huh? Way to go.
Let's get it up there.
But it's all those reasons, I assume, why he's so good, is what it sounds like.
But he's so deserving. And the reason why, he has the gait of a wide receiver. Very seldom you ever see his feet coming parallel together, which is a no-no for wide receivers. You always see his feet out this way. His acceleration in and out the breaks is special. He's a lot like Isaac Bruce as far as doing things like that. Catching the ball in traffic, defeating the double team. He's a football savant. The coach tells me because they move him around every position in the offense, he's able to remember all those things. So special football player that we're witnessing every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whenever he laces them up, man, something great can happen.
Hold on. My mind's blown. What did you mean about the feet? What are we talking about the feet? His feet are.
They don't come together because that's a bad position for wide receivers. You always want to be elongated one way or another because you can accelerate. You can't accelerate from this position. It's the worst position a wide receiver could ever be in. I mean, I know a little bit about it, Pat, just a little bit. You want to have your feet stacked. Ask the defensive back. Ask him what he would do with wide receivers if their feet are close together, or once their feet come together, what are you gonna do? You're gonna latch onto them.
Yep. Get sticky on them.
I just, as you did the thing, I was like, what a fascinating way to describe why somebody's great. I never even thought of that. I guess it makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, everything after you break it down, he's just built to be a wide receiver. It sounds like he's just built to be an NFL wide receiver.
I think last year you went to the Kentucky Derby, right?
Well, I've been before. That guy went over there, though, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to the paddock, you see the horses walking. And take this the right way. There's a certain gait to an athlete you can see. You can see the way he carries himself, the way his shoulders, the way his hips move, the way he sinks down his bottom. Like he runs like he's 5'7". Because the taller you are as a wide receiver, the worse it is for the position, because the higher your hip joint is off the ground, the harder it is to get it down low to make quick breaks. But he can transition in and out of his routes the best in the game right now.
So I don't know who said it first, but somebody on TV during the draft combine coverage said, I just want to see a big ass. You know, like that's one of those things though about like athletes, not only like the way they walk, but the way an athlete is built too. You can normally tell how somebody's going to be. That's why whenever we saw Kirk Herbstreit's kid, Jake Herbstreit, shoot a basketball, and he couldn't even hit the back, like this guy couldn't even hit the back, where it was like, everything about you says athlete. Yes. Everything about you. And then we do some athletic stuff and you don't do it. We understand completely what you're saying. Literally just happened.
Let me tell you, one of the greatest big butt athletes of all time. And you guys make sure you tweet it out there, Instagram it out. Larry Fitzgerald. His booty is ginormous.
Pretty good. I mean, if you got a big ass, you're going to catch 10 catches a game for 25 years. I think that's what Larry Fitzgerald did. And then you're going to get called out on Chandler Jones' Instagram. That's going to happen immediately after. Have you seen that? I don't want it to get too serious, but have you seen the Chandler Jones stuff happening right now? That seems a little bit alarming, like legitimately a bit alarming at this particular stand. Have you heard about this?
Refresh my memory.
Okay, so we're literally in the middle of this right now. Like Chandler Jones, Von Miller texted him, and he put out Von's number pretty much on a screenshot of the text message. Then LeBron sent him a message. Then Larry Fitzgerald sent him a green text. Don't want to judge. His big ass caught a lot of footballs. Right. We just heard it here from Chris Carter. But then Chandler kind of put him on blast that whole thing happening, which I think leads to a bigger conversation. It's like the mental health, I feel like, of players is being chatted about more, but we're still having situations kind of pop up seemingly. We do not know if Chandler's hurt or what is happening, seemingly not in a good place with the Raiders. How do you feel about that whole aspect of the NFL and how it's kind of handled in the modern athlete with the amount of scrutiny and how you have to manage getting through day to day, Chris?
Well, I want to make sure that we give the right tone to this.
Bingo.
Because, someone's life could be in jeopardy. And playing in the NFL is a special, special thing. And if someone was trying to take it away from you, or you felt like someone was disrespecting your talent or wasting your talent there, we've seen these things happen. But I think that as far as athletes and the National Football League, we're in the best spot that we've ever been in. You know the reason why? Because we listen and we really care. And I got a lot of guys that are friends of mine that, they're older and their mental health and their overall health, it has really been compromised. And most of that is because of the game of football. So I love the help. I love that we can talk about it now. I love that you don't have to be perfect. I love that people accept you're having a bad day, because all of us have been through it. But we grew up in an era and played in an era that people didn't want to talk about it. So now, if you really, really care about us, care about the mind, the body, and the soul, not just the performance on the field. Because one day they're going to take the air out the ball. Then where are we at?
Yeah.
Who is this person? Who is this human being? So I got a great deal of respect for what we're doing professionally, and I got a great deal of respect that anyone that thinks that right now I'm not at my absolute best.
And that leads to us saying, hey, Chandler, a lot of us are on your side, buddy.
Yep.
All, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think anybody and everybody's ready to have a chat. The NFL misses you. You know what I mean? Watching you play football is awesome. With that being said, AJ has a question with you, Chris.
Chris, you ever watch some of these wideouts with free releases a lot of times and not getting roughed up too much past 5 yards? And obviously, like, rules are a little different now to protect everybody. Like these receivers, I don't know, if you played in current day NFL, how would you feel if you could go across the middle? You're going to get lit up, but they're not going to take your skull off or they're going to get kicked out of the game.
Well, I just think for the betterment of the game, I don't want to be the voice of the old man sitting in the back saying, oh my God, boy, you should. No, the game is better now. The game is safer now. I couldn't have played any better. I wouldn't have wanted to do my career over again. 16 years playing in this league. The first 15 years, I only missed 4 games. So no, why would I change ever doing something like that? I got a great deal of respect for the people that are running the game. The changes that they made are for the betterment of the fans and the overall health of the wide receivers. But the game is a little bit easier. Almost all games are easier. The NBA is easier. National Hockey League is easier. Baseball, it's a little bit easier. They want to hit home runs now. They want to hit for average. So all the sports, I believe, they've changed. Some of them for the better, but ours, as far as overall health and protecting people, I do believe it's really advanced the game beyond our years.
One that I just, UFC feels like mixed martial arts is not easier.
Yeah, that is not good.
Feels like everybody has gotten better in that one.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
As we're thinking, we're going through those sports, and I'm like, yeah, it feels like that one's right. Yeah, that one's right. Quicker, faster, slower. Okay. And then it's like UFC. It's like, you remember that first one when there were a couple guys wearing gis?
Yep.
And then there was little guys, and then the Gracie guy comes in and was like, I'm from Brazil. You
got a good point there.
Y'all motherfuckers ain't never seen this before. And then just, big guy, you're out. So I think that's the only one. You're right. It's as sports evolve. That's kind of how things go. And a lot of the decisions, though, made for money, you think, though, obviously, NFL. And how do you feel about the business of the NFL right now? Business is booming right now for the NFL. It's only going to grow.
I mean, how do you feel about the business?
Great. We literally only talk about it. That's our show. We survive off of it.
Yeah.
We are leeches to the game. You know what I mean? Completely.
Well, I went to 3 years of college, Ohio State. Then I went pro. Then I played 16 years in the NFL. And then I worked 19 years with the broadcast partners. And the last 4 years, I've been working with the NFL and the league office in New York and the players and the legends. So it's been my whole life. I'm soon to be 58. So business is great, man.
Hey, thank you, NFL.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, NFL. We appreciate the hell out of you. Tone has a question for you, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, early in the season, it feels like maybe not more than ever, but it's definitely noticeable where quarterbacks are either not being able to read or not being able to pull the trigger and kind of just not on the same page with wideouts. How, as a wideout, do you deal with that with a struggling quarterback who is either inaccurate or not making the right reads? Like, how would you deal with that this early in the season?
Well, as far as continuity, the number one thing that you have to do is you have to try to make their job easier. So for me, I'm always going to get my depth, because a quarterback, if he's expecting you to be at 12 yards, most wide receivers are going to be short. A lot of wide receivers can't count that good. So at 10 yards, they're ready to come in and out of their break. But the quarterback's not ready. So the number one thing is make sure I get my depth so that he's comfortable. And I'm going to try to make a spectacular catch within the first few minutes of the game, the first quarter, to make him feel like, man, you don't have to be perfect throwing it to me. Like, my catch radius is not like right here. My catch radius is, you throw that thing and I'm going to catch it. Mm-hmm. And players who don't have the ability, the natural ability to throw it, it really, really helps their confidence. So those are the things. Make sure you get your proper depth and try to do something special to loosen him up, to be like, okay, I can trust him. Even a double team, he can defeat the double team. If I throw a back shoulder fade, he's going to protect the throw. So all those things really help with a quarterback psyche, because we all know who played the game. those quarterbacks aren't the toughest guys in that locker room.
I think that's a very valid point. Now, some of those shots, though, these dudes take, you know what I mean?
Kurt
on quarterback, we were watching him getting picked up and drove. It's like, in those moments while I'm watching, it's like, all right, we find out now.
Yeah.
Right? We learn now because everything, practice not touched, life, everything's good. What type of food do you want? Where do you want to go? Here's better internet than everybody else has. Like, this is the life of a quarterback, literally their entire. And then they take that one big shot, and it's like, I think everybody, even themselves, are almost wondering, like, all right, am I going to get back up from this or not? And it's like sometimes they don't. And then the great ones do. Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Think about these guys, bro. It's like we have a class right now, Chris. I know NFL business is good right now, but there was obviously going to be a convo about post-Peyton and Tom and Aaron and all the Ben and all these. This young class we got right now, Chris, seemingly more talented than ever before. It is a beautiful thing, Chris.
I mean, we've had great quarterbacks over the last 30 years and everything. I think that the bottom, guys at the bottom as far as the ranking can throw the ball better than guys in the 70s and 80s. So I think that makes for more quality. But I do remember a time that John Elway, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, they was balling all at the same time. So, you know, we've been blessed with quarterbacks, but the transition has been good. And a lot of that has to do with youth football and the way they coach quarterbacks, that they are Brock Purdy, ready, coming into the league, ready to throw the football and then making a difference. So that helps how they're coached.
Still misses, though. You know, there's still people that don't, but it feels like we got a great group of stars kind of coming up. Ty has a question for you via Connor.
Yeah, Chris, obviously talks table, usually two people. One of them, who I won't say, had to take a very messy dump. But with that being said, Ty wanted to ask about Tyreek Hill. How does someone like that even exist? One, how does he affect an offense? And how is he not the first overall pick? Because what he does on a football field is obviously second to none.
I think Tyreek Hill right now, Justin Jefferson had a tremendous season last year, but what Tyreek Hill has done absent of Patrick Mahomes is truly amazing. Even last year when they struggled at quarterback, they didn't struggle at wide receiver. I mean, I am truly impressed with his overall work ethic. I watch everything that he puts out there, everything he does as far as social media. And also, I'm very good friends with Dan Marino. And Dan Marino said that, Chris, you'd be shocked how hard he works. Every single day, he is the hardest worker on the Dolphins team. So for me, he's a legendary player. Oh, you sound legendary? Yeah, the reason why he's legendary is because he is the best fast player that we have ever seen. And he is one of the few small guys that when he goes off the ground to catch the ball, he's so comfortable and can come down. Most guys come down on the ground, but he can catch it and still accelerate. His game off the ground for a small guy is unbelievable. For a guy that has electric speed like that, he is one of none. We have never had a player like him in the history of the NFL. So enjoy. Tyreek Hill is special. Tell that dude, get back from the bathroom, man. He's missing some good stuff.
Yeah, he's listening. He's listening still in there. He's probably very thankful we're joining him. The speed in which he got up and hit that court to get there feels like this one's going to be explosive.
Yeah, it felt like I got hit by a car.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to. I think he thought he was going to be real close, especially towards the end. There was like a real.
Yeah, his gait changed.
You know what I mean? He had one of those. His feet were together too. You know what I mean? Like that DB would want to see it. You know what I'm saying? He was scooting along just like this, Chris, but he was listening. Oh, a lot of gospel coming.
And Darius will tell you this too. And we had Randy Moss effect when we had Randy. DBs have the biggest ego on the field. They swear up and down that this guy can't outrun them. Oh, he ain't that fast, dog. Oh, he ain't that fast, dog. That's what Tyreek Hill is doing for the last 5 to 6 years. Oh, he ain't that fast. Okay, yes, he is. Randy Moss, oh, he's not that fast. So that type of speed effect on the offense, it just creates space for so many things that the offense can do when you have that type of speed.
All right. Well, yeah, absolutely. And it's pretty apparent, too, that not every defense coordinator respects him still at this stage, too.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the decisions that are getting made, Chris, is like, what are they doing? And then Tyreek sees it, and McDaniel sees it, and Tua seemingly can put the ball in a keyhole, if you his arm is impressive. Because it's not easy to hit those guys that are running that fast either. I don't think that gets chatted about much.
No, it's amazing the windows they throw into. If you watch the clips of what they've done the first 2 weeks, like anticipation, timing, and accuracy, that's his whole game. He is Steve Young reincarnated. That's because Steve Young didn't have a big time arm, but his anticipation to be able to throw the ball down the field where you're supposed to be in those windows. Tua, man, it's really nice to be able to see him develop. And what the coach is doing down there is something special. So no one runs their offense like the Dolphins. No one runs them. I think I'm going to see them this week play Russellville. They're playing down here in South Florida.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how is South Florida? You ride bikes? Everybody's cycling down there. You a cyclist?
No, I'm not a cyclist. I'm a motorcycle, man. I've been in South Florida for 30 years, man.
Harley guy or?
Yeah, Harley, white, man. White, flames, leather.
Oh, what are we doing? Bandana on face? You go bandana on face?
No, I just have the shades on and, no helmet for the most part. Down by the beach. I ride by the beach, man. I don't do any road ride.
Yeah, it's scary out there on the road. I also motorcyclist as well. I absolutely love it. But I'll go bandana on face, whenever I'm pulling, because I'm going no helmet either. So the hair flow, sunglasses, bandana, I look like a bad motherfucker pulling up. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Yeah, well, at least you're trying to look like a bad dude. I feel like I'm comfortable. I want everyone to see this, so I'm cool with it.
Oh, okay. Well, you look like a bad dude just waking up. That's how it goes. We appreciate the hell out of you, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we'll talk to you again soon, huh?
Let's do it, baby.
Okay, you're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Carter.
Yeah, Chris.
Legend.
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
He's always good on our show. He's been working with the NFL Legends community. Is that what you heard, AJ?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what he does, but I've heard that.
Yeah.
I should have brought up the Taquio Spikes seat. You know what I mean? At the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Because that was with the NFL Legends. You get emails from the NFL Legends community, I assume?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Yep.
Do you?
Yep.
They're trying real hard, aren't they?
They're coming along.
Legit. The NFL, so here's the thing. NFL Legends, I think, is through the NFL community.
Yeah.
And then the NFLPA, obviously, is like, right? The NFLPA is for players, not so much retired players, though. We got to worry about ours. Direct quote from somebody at the NFLPA to, our team asking a question about, like, retired players. So that certainly taught me a lot. Well, we're all going to be retired players at one. Yeah, but we got to worry about ours. Yeah, but that is ours. But not yours, I guess, because you're the lawyers that are going to be here forever. Oh, wait, we should. No, we'll work. Okay. Oh, so we're fucking retired players? Oh, okay. Seems like that is. Okay, that's the mindset. Now, not necessarily the case anymore. There's new leadership in there and new conversations and more money now and all that. But then NFL Legends community was put together by the NFL, I believe. And they're like, hey, we want to offer things to NFL players. They got events at every big event that you can go to. They got like job shadows, job things.
Health checkups, too. I see the health things that I've thought of. Like, I should eventually go to one of these where they'll do like the full 2 or 3 day whole physical on you.
Yeah, they set up the place. They rent out like a full conference.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and they give you hotels, I think, their whole thing.
That's sick.
Nobody really talks about it that much, though. And I think the NFL Legends are very proud, like the NFL Legends community, because I think it's him. I think Ryan Leaf is working with it pretty big. I think he comes.
Jimmy Johnson in it for a little? No.
I don't know.
Because he was working with one of those.
But they're trying to get a lot of shit, like, lifetime health insurance and stuff like that. I think it'll come through the NFL Legends community before it comes through the NFLPA personally.
Need it.
That'd be huge.
Big time.
Legit. I don't know how it hasn't happened yet. That feels like an easy marketing thing through it all. But how about the NFL suing the NFLPA? Did you see that?
Whoa.
Over the running back
What
stuff?
about?
Yeah, they're filing litigation that the NFLPA was basically recommending to people to fake injuries to kind of add leverage for the running back contract situation. The NFL, I don't know if it's suing them or filed a injunction and who would even hear that? A court? What does it even mean? I don't know. But the NFL publicly said, hey, we don't like what the fuck you did there, pretty much, is what they publicly announced. Did you see this?
Yeah, and I remember when that news kind of came out. I thought it was amongst the running backs, and that came out from the Zoom meeting. It was kind of leaked. I don't think that was from the PA, but I mean that wouldn't be.
So Treader, actually, J.C. Treader, who friend of the program, was actually quoted in some interview talking about gaining leverage however you possibly can.
That ain't a good way.
Yeah, well, I think he alluded to it though. The NFL is filing a grievance against the NFLPA over allegations the union advised running backs to consider feigning or exaggerate. That's a good word there.
Feigning?
Yeah, feigning. I think it's like
Feigning.
Yeah, is it rain?
Feigning.
Feigning. What a word. Hell yeah. I wonder how the
What's
NFL
what does a grievance mean exactly?
or exaggerating injuries
They're
to
pissed.
gain leverage to contract talks and seeking an order for the union to cease and desist from such improper conduct. Now, exaggerating injuries. Can you search up J.C. Treader injuries in this thing? Because I think Mike Florio quoted one and said, well, all of a sudden, this quote seems much more important now from J.C. Treader. Whenever maybe a couple months ago when the running back thing was happening, J.C. Treader obviously very high in the NFLPA. And I assume he just said something in an interview passively. But then when Jim Irsay puts out there's some contracts, there's some agents operating in bad faith right now telling the running backs to do stuff. I think that, and then the agent comes firing back at Jim Irsay. I think then Jim Irsay rallies the troops about this is bad faith going on here. And I don't know, though. What does that mean? A grievance comes. Asked on Ross Tucker's podcast if running backs like Saquon should claim they're not 100% healthy as a means of holding out. Treader said that he couldn't recommend faking injuries publicly, but he didn't exactly rule it out either. You need to try and create as much leverage as you possibly can, Treader said. And that's the tough thing with the franchise tagger being restricted in the movement is it decreases your leverage. But then you have to find creative ways to build leverage elsewhere. I think we've seen issues now. I don't think anybody would say they were fake injuries, but we've seen players who didn't want to be where they currently are have injuries that made them unable to practice and play, but you're not able to get it fined and you're not able to be punished for not reporting. So there are issues like that. I don't think I'm allowed to ever recommend that, at least publicly, but I think each player needs to find a way to build up leverage to try and get a fair deal. And that's really what all these guys are looking for, is to be compensated fairly. So that quote, I would assume, was the thing after Jim Irsay or others were like, this is bullshit. What's going on here was the thing that they kind of find. But I didn't hear him say, hey, they should do it. I think he was just pointing out the obvious that it has happened, not only in the NFL, but NBA. I mean, James Harden.
Oh, yeah.
James Harden.
Simmons.
His hamstring. I mean, this has happened elsewhere. It's not like they created it, you know, AJ?
No, they just don't want him to talk about it anymore. The cease and desist part at the end, they just want him to shut it down and not continue this conversation.
So, maybe he's in the middle. Where's J.C. Treader at right now?
He's not playing.
He's not playing. He's out of the league.
He retired.
We should text him. Yeah, let's text him. Cold call. Yeah, cold call. Let's tell him we're on, though, you know, obviously, because everything he says is going to be literally in a grievance. What is that? Who hears that? Like Judge Judy? Who is
Goodell, and he just
Is it
crumples
like
up the
demerit?
paper and throws it out.
It's just for merit, you think?
No, it's like getting a demerit, like giving someone, hey, that's one demerit. Okay, what happens?
And how often does it happen? Like, we're filing a grievance.
Especially between those two.
Okay, we'll move along. Thank you. We're filing a grievance.
Yeah, but when players file grievances, typically they can get things resolved pretty quick. If you file a grievance based on how an injury settlement might have gone down and they want to give you 3 weeks, now it might get moved to 6 weeks after you file the grievance. So things can come from that.
Grievances? What about the NFL filing it against the players?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah,
Great question.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But I think some type of resolution can come from it, or else there's no point in doing it.
Because they're the ones filing the grievance, but they're the ones making the decision. So the decision's
Roger
already been
makes the
made.
decision.
Or is this like the thing with Goodell where they had to bring in that third party lady? Then she would recommend to Goodell what to do.
But we all know that didn't.
That didn't matter.
Her role did not matter. Remember that? That was the fine little finer detail we found out.
Yes.
Right before the judgment day was like, turns out this is just a recommendation.
Yeah. So Roger.
This is so Roger doesn't have to do the whole song and dance the court thing. She will be doing this. She will be giving a recommendation to Roger Goodell, who will then be making the final decision. It was like, so nothing's changed. And he's going to take it serious. It's like, I'm sure he is. And I think he did and has. But there will come a situation that'll pop up where Roger will go, you don't know the whole story. Whoever the judge is, whether it's a new one or whatever, that's not the case. We got to do this. I appreciate the fact that the NFL is trying to change things, and I could see how they would be pissed off if a union was telling people to fake injuries so that they could get out of there if they thought that was happening. But I don't know how this matters. Like a filing of a grievance, what is that? We'll find out for tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do.
Could you imagine if that info...
No answer from JC Treader.
I tried looking
If we
it up,
had
too.
that info before about Jonathan Taylor, how loud it would have been? Because everyone would have immediately just been like, oh, Jonathan Taylor's listening to J.C. Treader. He's just faking an injury, and that's why he's doing this.
Well, J.C. Treader didn't say that. He was just pointing out that it has happened in the past.
Yes.
We got to make sure we say that because that is the whole conversation that's taking place in this grievance. But Jonathan Taylor just posted him working out.
Yeah.
Right? So Jonathan Taylor is probably feeling as if he's healthy, letting the world know he's healthy.
Should be getting there close to it.
Was he put on PUP or IR?
PUP.
Okay. So he's
back after
physically unable to perform.
2 weeks.
3 weeks, 4 weeks?
3?
3 weeks?
Two. I mean, 4. I think.
Four
total.
Four
He has
is
2 left.
4. I thought it was IR's 4. Yes.
IR's 4 too. At least 4.
Yeah, do you no longer have to be designated either, right? Remember, there was one person at the beginning of it. IR used to be forever for everybody.
All year.
Yeah.
And then there was one person that was allowed to be designated to come back. So you had to pick an injury on the spot, predict what future injuries could come, and how easily could that come. Wow. And then they were like, this is stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't this, we should just like every other sport.
Wait, so now everybody can come back?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I do believe.
That's good.
Is that
Now
COVID?
I think COVID was.
That was a COVID change
helped,
because it was 3 weeks, I thought, during COVID for the IR.
And then they
you were
had
allowed.
people in hotels. Remember, they had people just living in hotels.
Yep.
Because if you had to do an 8-day isolation.
Yeah.
Quarantine.
It was
Quarantine.
5 days because I had to do it.
Wild
I got
times.
signed like
Oh, nice
midway
job.
through August. You just
To
sit
Tampa?
in- Yeah, sit in a hotel for 5 days.
Was that cool?
Was it a good hotel?
Oh, caused some stress on my marriage.
Oh, babe, yeah, you got to take the kids.
Oh yeah, you must. Yeah, you got all the kids. Yeah, you must be watching Netflix shows.
Oh, I'm sure that's what you were watching. Yeah.
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 Brought
How much
8
lotion
bottles of
did they
lotion.
buy in there?
Yeah, you ran up the bill. On
Front office.
Yeah.
The front office called down. Hey, front office, hi, how can I help you? I need all your lotion.
Now.
I'm here for 5
All
days.
of it.
Do you know I'm not allowed out? So if you guys could just figure out how to drop that outside, that'd be great.
Can you bring a laptop up too?
I like to be lathered. I like to be lathered.
18 towels.
Can we get a shot of the marquee, please? It is 3:02. Ty went to the bathroom at 2:40.
He gave us an update.
Did you see the picture he sent in?
No, what is it, Brian? Sweating?
Yeah, bingo.
Shirts off.
Shirts off?
Yeah, tarps off.
Ty, we're pulling for you, pal.
Yeah, he's hurt. He's fighting in there right now. He hasn't taken his shirt off in quite some time on a dump in here.
Yeah, legit.
There it is.
He's going in.
Yeah. If you can see
He
the
threw
wall.
that thing down too. You could tell.
Yeah, you can see the wall on the right, too. That is not a regular stall. That is a handicap stall. He
So he
needed
went into more room.
hold the bar, I think.
From what I've been told, also, he ordered some water from Talk
A nice.
out front in the kitchen.
Okay.
Hey, I need some water here, please,
through.
Stat.
Is that for the TP?
I need a fan, please, Stat.
Do we know what he ate this morning?
Could you do me a favor and bring some water? Yeah, which one? Handicap stall in the locker room bathroom. All right. We appreciate you, Ty.
He's that thirsty?
Yeah, well, I think he's sweating probably pretty good. He
Might be for the wet wipes.
What did he have this morning?
Oh,
He had an omelet this
It's
morning.
that damn omelet every time. dude.
whatever he eats.
Every
Yeah.
time, man.
He's been living with the Arby's. I mean, he had Arby's yesterday. He wasn't running out of here
Bro, he rolls the dice.
all the time.
He knows what's possible. This is possible with Ty's guts every single time he eats.
Every meal.
And he just,
It's terrible.
he lives, I'm going to say it, recklessly.
Yeah.
The way he eats. Him and Nick will have just, I don't know, the entire Taco Bell menu just at 9 a.m.
Throw some in the fridge for later.
and then some ice cream and then just be like, whoa, my gut's upset. It's like, no shit.
Really?
No shit.
It's 10:30.
What'd you say about traveling? Go ahead.
How does he travel? Like, does he ever have to take long road trips? What does he do?
He'll
Especially
dump
he's
on
got
the plane.
kid now?
Yeah, well, did you hear about the guy who pooped on the plane and they had to turn it around? That was Ty.
Oh,
Yeah, the diarrhea down the entire.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a nightmare. It was a lady.
Boy, oh
Wasn't
boy.
That's
Yeah.
oh, it was a lady?
I think it was a lady.
I forget because there's been a bunch
she
of
It was a lady.
It was a lady. I do believe it was a lady because
tough.
the clothes in which I think because it ran down her legs.
Oh, yeah. Ran
right
down
onto the.
the whole aisle.
yeah.
Boy, I haven't been there in a long time, but
Jeez, that's tough.
I couldn't imagine how incredibly uncomfortable that would be
Yeah.
to just be dumping your pant.
There it is.
This guy just got back from a 12-round fight. Way to handle that thing.
Basically did a tour.
the gate. Those Justin Jefferson feet.
The gate looks a little tight in the feet.
Yeah, it seems
Has
like
to
there's
be.
maybe another round coming there. Let's do a little post-dump presser here. Coach, how was it out there? It feels like you performed pretty well. That's the longest game you've had to play. Were the boys ready for overtime and double overtime?
Anytime you get in a situation where when you get in there, you start sweating immediately. And, I got a little lightheaded as well. Felt like I was worried because we were dealing with diarrhea there. I mean, full on butt piss city. And I was at the point where, it usually takes a little bit because it just feels like my stomach is constantly just being stabbed by like a very serrated blade. And it's kind of just going through everything. But I wasn't to the butt piss part yet. And I was like, oh boy, I'm going to throw up. So now I'm going to have to get off this and puke in the toilet and just pray to God that I don't shit all over the floor and all over my pants and my boxers and everything.
Luckily, we avoided that, but I did have to pop. I sweat through my shirt and my sweatshirt, had to pop it off. That was one of the worst mud cakes I've dropped in a long time.
Long time ever or long time?
Definitely not ever. But I mean, I'd been on a good run. I felt like I hadn't had to, get up and leave the show and go take a dump in a while. And I mean, I mentioned before, the break coming into the third hour, I looked up. I said, 5 minutes. Do I have enough time to take a shit? No, I don't think I do.
Oh, so this one was building up a little bit.
It was a little bit.
So it's building for a long time, but then it came quick.
It did. Well, and I think you could. I was battling up here with Chris Carter.
Saw it.
I was trying to get through it.
We were watching.
I could feel just all the color leaving my face.
You look ghastly.
Yeah.
Still.
White,
you look disgusting.
White as a ghost. Yeah.
But you left it all out there.
Yeah, I had to. I mean, I had no choice. The bigger issue is I no longer have any wet wipes in the bathroom. So if I
Is that what the water was for? Or
No.
is that because of the passing out?
No, I needed the water because my mouth got very dry and I thought I was going to throw up. So I was like, hey, this is just a precautionary thing. But now if I do have another round, I don't have any wet wipes.
We can DoorDash that. We can go. Hey, we think you played a great game out there.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
Good work.
I appreciate it.
Pitched a good game.
Good questioning, too. Got a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you did ask about Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I saw it.
Pretty good in there.
Mm-hmm.
CC actually said, this guy's missing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
We told him you didn't. You saw the whole time.
Yeah, I was watching.
Okay, we're happy we could accompany you
Mm-hmm.
in there with you. Did you it was 25 minutes.
I know.
Was that a full action-packed in there?
The first 5 is kind of where you're just like pushing a little bit, and it's just like, all right, come on, let's get this show on the road. Because I know what's coming at that point, It's like, now it's just a waiting game. When is it going to actually
Well, they say that
come?
about like the Super Bowl and everything.
Do.
It's
They
like
do.
that.
They
you know?
do. But that's the problem is I have these stomach pills. And usually, I don't know if they switched the chemistry of what goes into them because it used to be, boom, it just take the stomach ache away. You don't have to worry about it. Now it's basically like a time release, 12 minutes, boom, and then it's going to hurt really bad, and then you're going to probably shit your pants, but then after that you usually feel good. I don't know. I tell you what, I'm kind of shell-shocked right now. I really am.
Me too. I was surprised too, bro. We thought we were gonna have to send somebody in there to go splunking for you.
Yeah.
25 minutes.
Yeah, I would not recommend going in there or smelling in there.
I would. Yeah, I understand.
It's awful.
You think you live recklessly with the way you eat, knowing that could happen for any meal that you have? There?
Not really. It honestly is just my stomach. There's just not a whole lot I can do. And
That's what I'm saying, though. Do you think there potentially is? You know what I mean?
Not really, though, because like yesterday, I had Subway and I basically just got a plain turkey sandwich with cheese on it, and I didn't have to take a shit like that yesterday, but I mean, it's the risk you run. It's happened before. And then this morning, this place I get it probably 3 times a week. So, I'm used to it. I've kind of built up this callus, but every once in a while, this place decides, hey, you know what, let's put 6 pounds of cheese in this omelet and just see what this guy can do with it. And it's hidden in there. I can't see it. So, you kind of finish it and it's just like, well.
We're happy you're good.
That one felt a little
Hey,
different.
aren't we? We're happy he's back. It was a long time.
Very happy. I worry about Ty. I mean, that would be that's tough to deal with that.
It's not fun. It's not.
25 minutes.
That's Diesel.
That's a show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was in the trenches.
Yeah.
He was in the trenches. Trenches Wednesday.
Trenches Wednesday.
Good call. Speaking of, I think it's time.
Yeah,
it's time.
That's a great transition. Our guy was just in the trenches, and now it's time to go in the trenches with AQ Shipley.
That boy AQ.
Here we go.
Hell yeah, AQ.
I think we did it.
He looks very in shape today.
Yeah, he does.
Last week he was in shape, but I lost 10 more
This
pounds.
looks all right.
Yeah, you look really good, man. You look really
Good
good.
shoes today too, Kush.
Yeah,
Wow.
good stuff, Kush.
As Chuck Pagano would say. What? How does he say this?
Ferragamo.
Ferragamo.
Wow, you're wearing Ferragamo?
Yeah.
Whoa. You're small. You're thin.
Better than those.
Ferragamo shoes.
He couldn't have tied those Air Forces that he wore every week last week tighter.
Does your wife know you're not wearing Crocs every day of your life? Are you still wearing Crocs every day of your life?
I still wear Crocs.
Around
every
the
day.
house?
Yeah, but if I come on, I got to dress it up a little bit on here.
Ferragamo.
I mean, I dress like an asshole
dress it
every
up.
day, but like, hey, AJ, this dude's wearing 36 waist jeans. 36.
That's unbelievable. Do you have to take in the legs at all, or do you have to let out the legs at all? Are they too tight on you?
Do they look too tight?
Look good.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
Looks like you got a
rag
dot in
bone?
your pants.
You are
Huh?
You are
Yeah,
lean.
rag and
Right?
bone? Yeah, look,
You
hey.
are a fat.
Huh?
High fashion, man.
Say it again, huh?
Clean. Hey, you clean, man. You look good.
Hey,
Appreciate
you.
That was a hell of a compliment. You just got there. We
I
would
felt-
like to
I felt
describe
real
it
good
as
about it.
differently.
He complimented
Yeah.
my shoes last week, the jeans this
Yeah.
week. We're
Whoa,
doing it. We're
flying
doing it.
high. Let's go in the trenches with the fashionable AQ Shipley.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Starting with your Indianapolis Colts this week. We got a highlight on the tight end because he's the only one coming back this way. The offensive line is going to sell everything.
He did a photo shoot.
You're going to see.
That is him.
You're going to see every single player on the defense, for the most part, sell out for the run over here. But guess what? We're going to fake the toss coming around this way. We call this fake 39 because we're going to the left, so it's an odd number. Fake 39. Quarterback's going to come back on the 38. He's going to be the lead blocker, but you got to watch. Whenever we get it coming in here, you're going to see a little crack block by the receiver. You'll see it pause. Let's see if I can do this here.
I got you.
You got it. Okay. Boom.
Ooh.
Now wait for it.
There he
This is the
is.
one that sets up the home run. Wait for it, because the tackle couldn't get it. He cleans it up. Tackle now climbs. When the tackle can't get there, that's okay. Now we just get vertical, try and pick off someone else, which he does. And then Anthony Richardson
Concussion.
No.
goes to concussion protocol. We get it.
Out for 2 weeks.
But what a play call, huh?
What a
Is
play.
that block legal?
Yeah,
Is that block
is that
legal?
That block's legal, 100%.
How? He's outside the box, coming into the box.
Bro, look at this.
That's
though.
okay.
Look
Back
at
towards
this.
the line of scrimmage.
We're not going
too.
back towards the line. We're going sideways.
All those
There's
fools.
There's some nuances. We're not going back. We're going sideways. Look at him. He's just
Okay,
there.
okay.
We're going sideways.
Yeah, that does
Look at that. Everybody's looking over here. Isn't that unbelievable?
and they have no clue.
Everybody. Look at it. These two are running into each other.
Jeez.
These guys don't have to do shit. And then we get the tight end out in front, lead the carousel
Bang.
into the end. There's the crack. There's the crack. He's just going sideways. He's going sideways, right?
Nothing wrong with a little crack.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a little crack block. There it
We
is.
like that. He's a dog.
And he
Yeah,
stays
bang.
high,
Mark
uses
Pittman.
his shoulder.
Means
Hey,
business.
that's clean football, as Chris Carter said, right? We're making the game safer.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Cooler. And look at this. I mean, this guy's a freak out in space. Let's just hope
Well,
we can stay out of concussion protocol.
Well, hold on
Yeah.
real quick. He's still in there with Ryan Kelly, the center, which I didn't even know Ryan Kelly was in there as well.
no.
That's not
Oh,
good.
no.
So I didn't even know that it was this guy's fault that this happened because what? You know what I mean? He blocks that guy
Yeah.
instead of that other guy. And then the other guy.
Ooh.
is
Right
there.
there is where he hit the head, right?
Yeah.
No
Gotta
concussion.
Lower the shoulder.
That was where that was literally where he hit his head. Yeah.
That was it, right?
It's bad though.
Yeah.
I mean, the whiplash on it is bad. The
Yeah.
fact that he just popped up
Yeah.
as quick as he did, pretty surprising.
Agree.
Adrenaline.
I mean,
Slam.
watch this.
Boom.
Oh, he can't. I guess through Granson, who just had a touchdown in a baby photo shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
That was sweet.
cool.
I appreciate that.
More
I like
guys need to do
type
that.
of stuff. Okay.
Love it.
Yeah, need more of
I
that.
love this play. I love this play. We talked about this a little bit before the show, so let's just set this up beforehand. First of all, do we notice anything different?
Yeah.
What do we notice?
Off
Stuff.
balance.
Tackle
Unbalanced
over.
left.
Oh,
There
it
we
is.
go,
There it
AJ.
is.
There we go. Tackle over. Tight end in the place of the tackle over here. We get Makari over here serving as the tight end. But check this out. They're a little confused on defense. We call this an overload or an over wide or an overstack, where now the Sam linebacker's down on the ball. In a power play, fullback always has the Sam linebacker. So you put the guard in the backfield, Ricard on the Sam. We get a tray block here all the way back to the will. On a power play, the guard will always pull for the mic. There, you drew it up. But check this out. This is what we talk about all the time. Football is hard. Things move fast. Well, guess what? Defense doesn't stay still. Slant, slant. Now, instead of him traying to the will, he takes his guy. Now he sees that, reacts, and now takes his guy. Now guard pulls around, who should be pulling for the mic. Nope, because we all switch assignments on the run, and now Zeitler comes around, boom.
Wow.
You saw his eyes too.
Gorgeous.
Saw his eyes,
That's
Dodo.
awesome.
That was great.
How awesome is that?
Gorgeous.
Great stuff.
So that's just a
Pretty good.
shift that's natural, it seems like, to us watching because how easy they made it. But that's not an easy thing to accomplish, right? Because they all got to be there.
Not at all. Listen, because whenever you get your installs, it installs it versus the three basic defense. You never get an install with lines drawn, with guys slanting. They're running a Mike Sam. They're running a cross dog. They're bringing a corner cat. They're firing will free safety. You never get any of that stuff. So that is where you can't memorize. In today's game, you have to understand concepts. And by understanding concepts, you understand who people are going to. Guard pulling for the mic. Fullback has the Sam. We're working our double team back to the will. Everybody else is filling in what you need to fill in. But by understanding the concept, you can apply it on the run, and you can apply it to any defense.
That's beautiful.
And everyone says linemen are just big, dumb, fat dipshits. And
Yeah.
and here
Shit
we
happens
are.
fast. Shit happens fast.
Here we are learning that might not be the case.
That's right. No.
Wow.
They have brains.
Upset of the day.
Unbelievable.
Jeez Louise, you guys got
There's-
brains in there.
How about
Oh,
that?
shit.
How about
Small waist, big brains.
Yeah.
that? Sorry, Con Man. Sorry.
Just shut up and do it.
Gumpy, we got a good one for you this week. Hey, check it out. We are not gonna, we don't like to call people out, right? Offensive linemen, we don't like to say bad things. I have to say one bad thing.
Wow.
My man Lamb here. We should be fanning.
I mean, let's just.
We should be fanning.
What's his first name?
Kendall
Okay.
from
Kendall Lamb.
Oklahoma.
Good player.
Year 8, I think.
Okay.
You're right.
We should be fanning. This is an inside zone week. Fan to there, fan to there. He doesn't. He goes here. We don't even fucking block Judon. But
Jeez.
this thing just goes for 50 yards. Now, here's what I love about this play. Right guard, center, you're going to watch them. They're the key to this play. He's going to come here on a scoop. Right guard and center scoop to the front side backer, Bentley. Watch him snap him across his face, helps the center, climb, gets him back, and the hole happens between those two. Here's what else I love. We send receiver and tight end back, which get Jack and Will out of the equation over here. And now watch Mostart, who runs a 10 flat 100. Look at that. Look at that little jump cut. Sets up the block, gets back in the big gaping hole. And then nobody's catching him from there.
Out of there.
And
Just a track race.
If you look at what New England's in too, they were basically daring Miami to do this, and they just decided that they were going to do this.
100%. But I'm going to tell you this.
AJ, what are these linebackers doing, dude?
I mean, there's a lot going on here in this play. If you're on defense, look at all the misdirection. AQ said it right there. The little jump cut to set up his blocks. Beautiful.
He's the only linebacker in, I believe, right there too. I guess never mind on the right side, but between Adrian Phillips, he's standing over the tackle. He is not a linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what Bill does, right?
Yes,
Like they bring
exactly.
him in as like a box linebacker,
Yeah.
which makes it look like base defense with nickel personnel. You get kind of best of both worlds. But when you get the tight end and the receiver going back, I love this actually, because now we can man the backside tackle, because typically you would leave him there and then put a receiver or tight end going back on a defensive end, but you can man a big on a big, and then you get the two littles on the two littles, which is awesome.
And this guy knew that Judon was just going to stay outside, keep the edge.
Yeah, it's exactly what he knew.
Yeah, he knew that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
he knew that. Lamb.
Tony mentioned earlier TJ Watt. I
Somehow
don't know why
Judon
they-
ends up on the ground, by the way, on that play.
Yeah, they're standing him up this year in the first two games more than they have, it felt like, all of last year.
You like these guys?
Oh, I like the Lions. They didn't play their best on Sunday. That's right, Fox.
How big Sola?
But here, you got to have some nuts. I mean, we talked a lot about the offensive coordinator who turned down some head coaching jobs and opportunities last year. You got to have some nuts to make this call. 4th and 3 with a tackle who's your right tackle over on the left side, and we're going to make a play call. Now, this is huge, by the way. We talked about this a lot with Aaron last year. Aaron did this a lot in Green Bay, where they would send him over here, gets eye candy over here, throw the screen back away. But check this out. When you get this, my man's in man coverage. He's the guy who's unblocked to the play call. Gone. Get him out of the zone. Just got him out of the zone. Now we run the counter, offensive guard, back this way. My man right here thinks he's going to make the play. Nope. Check this out. We got the counter coming back to the receiver going the other way on 4th and 3.
So awesome. Wow. Such a huge play.
To the sun god.
How awesome is that?
That's tough.
That's creative.
Unreal.
St. Brown was out before this play, too. He was cramping up or something. They brought him in for this, and they assumed that he was the only one that could run this play, and it was on huge 4th down.
Smart play.
Love that.
Good coaching.
Yeah, Ben Johnson.
You get some eye candy, you get some guys out in space. Obviously, guard and tackle didn't get great blocks and thing, but again, on a 4th and 3, use a little scheme to help your boys out, and this is a big-time play. Big-time play call.
These young offense coordinators on 3rd down and money downs, they get so creative. And
Huge.
they're not scared to use it. You know what I mean? They're not scared to use the plays. I absolutely love that. Good for Goff, too, with the touch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can throw that off somebody's helmet.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So many guys in that situation would sit there and they'd run like a little, quick game pass. It might get batted down at the line of scrimmage. Doing that is huge on 4th down in today's day.
Still a good call, though, because you're going to get man coverage. So whoever is on St. Brown's going to have to run through some shit to get to him. And they did.
Exactly.
Pretty decent job too to get him down the ground.
That's one that has to work though, because
Yeah.
if it doesn't, it looks like a disaster.
Every fan in America is calling for their head.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, because the
Every
amount of things that can go wrong here.
Yep.
Trips.
That 3-tech could have made the play right there, possibly, but that just little bit of eye candy misdirection gets him off his thing.
Yeah,
What's the only chance this end's got to dive underneath and make it bubble, or what? Is that the only chance they have?
Probably
Any
the only
lights out
chance, but you got two guys coming, right? So then, you know,
if he creates
you're
a
kind of
pile and
screwed.
makes them bounce, possibly someone
You
come
hope
over
for the
top,
best,
but yeah.
right?
Yeah. Jeez, great play.
Yeah.
Great play
Yeah.
offensively.
Yeah.
Free safety reset. I mean,
Unreal.
that's a good play. Shit.
Yeah.
Look at Ben Johnson.
Genius.
Guy.
They're so fun to watch.
They are.
Speaking
Brand new lines, baby. Brand new.
Speaking of fun to watch.
Oh, gotta love this. You're gonna see Jennings come in motion. This is the scheme I fell in love with last year. Colleges are starting to do it now. They're calling it the escort motion. Why? Because escorting you to the hole, right? So Jennings is gonna come in motion.
Oh, I thought it was just like a paid worker.
Yeah, like prostitute.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Escort.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
Nope, nope.
Someone gives you
Escort to the hole.
Oh,
like,
okay.
like a police escort, right?
Well,
Oh,
es-
makes
like we-
sense.
yeah,
Escort.
makes
escorts
sense.
do the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing too.
Escorts to the hole, yeah.
Kind of
So
yeah,
that's what everybody's calling it. I didn't know.
yeah, me
Yeah, that's the
neither.
new
That makes,
thing.
that's how that helps us remember it.
Yeah,
There you
that
go.
makes sense.
There you go. Perfect.
Like Tom Segura's glory hole.
Bingo, liquid death. How could we forget that?
Of course.
Dump your cans in my mouth. Yeah, it was a great thing.
Well, we can do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on the internet if you haven't seen it, which where we are right now. You can just Tom Score.
Check it out.
And if you don't know who that is, just go ahead and snoop around.
Yeah, right.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're welcome.
Anyways, this is not about a lady of the night, a streetwalker.
No,
This
it's
is
not.
about a
Sex worker.
police
This is about a
escort.
heck of a run.
Got it. Okay.
CMC doing big things like he has for the last 2 years in San Fran, right? We get Jennings coming in motion. He's going to help Kittle out, right? These two go there to corner. Look, Kittle's always able to get his head outside, knowing he has inside help. Jennings is going to push across. No, wait. Go a little bit further. Right there. Stop. Debo starts at the corner, which now sets up Jennings' block as he climbs before he gets to safety. These guys are always working in cahoots. Always. Every single thing they do has a plan. Let's go back to the beginning real quick.
That's insane.
A little bit back.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. Let it run, let it run, let it run, let it run. Now, let's check out left tackle, left guard. 1 of 1. Trent Williams swipes the hands down. We call that a little vet move. Watch this. Boom, swipes the hands down. Gets
JJ
him
just
down.
talked about this.
Yeah, hates
Right?
it.
Hates it. Boom, gets him in the ground. Now that helps his guard. Now Trent gets up on the backer, and then CMC makes one cut. Now check this out. There's an unblocked guy coming from the weak side.
Oh yeah.
Will he make the tackle? Christian doesn't even feel it. Just a little leg out of the way and a speed bump on the way to 60.
Oh, that looked like he hyperextended his shit.
Yeah,
A little
it did,
bit.
actually.
Yeah.
When I
And
saw
he got
it,
up talking, didn't even phase him.
I know. I love that because, potentially out for games.
Oh, yeah,
look good.
real
Didn't look
time.
good.
It
Actually-
looked like, hey, this guy's going to be out 4 weeks.
And he didn't even know. That was
No.
like when Tannehill did that finger roll and almost hyperextended his
Yep,
leg.
scoring the touchdown.
And he didn't even notice. It was like, yo, you're real close to being like that thing right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watching it live, I thought, damn, we're out Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Good for him being able to, all right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
was a
yeah.
good stand. Yeah.
These guys are so good. And listen, let me just say one more thing
On
about this,
on
right?
turf too. That was weird.
That was on turf.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That intentional.
Well,
away from
everybody's-
Aaron Donald.
Where's he at? On the
He's
weak
on this backside.
Yeah, listen, anytime you got him on the weak side, you always want to create double teams so you can create a slip on the backside. If you're running the gap schemes, you get the double team to him. You can do so many different things. Is it intentional? Probably not. I think the way that they look at the Rams and the way that San Fran, knowing the way they operate against the Rams, they look at their edges as the weakest in the run game, so that's where they attack. That's why you get a lot of this stuff.
Gotcha.
I do believe McCaffrey, when he did get up, he said, "Toss your bitch ass," or "Toss your
They
ass."
were
bitch."
chirping when he got
Oh
up. I
yeah,
remember that.
yeah. They
right there.
Camera zoomed in on him. They actually got him saying it. It was awesome.
Love that.
Happy his knee's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, he's good.
All right, so
Here it is, cheap shot.
I hate
time for
to
a
have
cheap
to
shot.
do this with a fellow defensive back
Oh
What's
no.
going on?
What
in
happened?
the studio.
What happened?
What's
We
going
got
on?
2 big bumps this week, and both of them are big boys taking care of little boys.
No,
That's Penn State,
bullying.
2002.
no.
So check out Morgan Moses. Morgan Moses, by the way. Morgan Moses.
I got that one.
You got that one, AJ. That's good. I'm glad you got that
Can you
one.
explain it to us,
We
Ed?
can
No,
never
no.
forget that happened. Remember,
That happened.
that
was
stuff
fake.
happened.
Yes.
And it's been happening allegedly.
Bullshit.
A lot of places.
Looking at you, Catholic Church.
Who we talking?
Sorry.
Talking to you,
Notre
Jay.
Dame. You talking about Notre Dame?
You.
You.
All right, here we go. So Morgan Moses, he's had a ton. By the way, older guy playing at a high level. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, let's rewind that a little bit.
That doesn't happen to Mike.
And here's why this is so good. And this is why I like to show things like this. You guys from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Mike Hilton's a dog.
Mike Hilton's a dog. Boom!
Wow. You got to pick your battles. Man, this is bullshit. We can't. We're
What
supposed to be able to cut these guys, man. That's not player safety.
What's he
bro.
supposed to
Create
do?
a pile. We need to make a pile right
Plus, he was
there.
playing
Chop his
possum,
leg
too.
down.
He was like, oh, I'm going out wide. Nope, well, maybe I'll just cut back and hit you.
Hey, back in the day, we were able to go right at that outside knee.
This is where I'm going to stick up for this because I'm so sick and tired of listening to we should be able to cut. We should be able to cut. If you throw on 90% of plays downfield on a screen, 90% of plays with linebackers and linemen in space, the linemen look like idiots. They slow their feet down, they get juked, they don't get a hand on anybody. So when the linemen don't stop their feet and these DBs take the easy way out because he should have just played over the top, but he tries to make the play underneath. And then that's when you get the forearm shiver to the fucking throat.
Oh.
God damn.
Yeah.
How bad is that?
It's a big
tough.
bump.
Hey, you're great player though.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen.
Definitely go ahead.
AJ, do you think that one was bad? Wait till you see this one.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. First of all, this should be a cheat code. This should not be allowed. This should be unfair to be this size and let him be able to move this fast. We got a little speed screen out to the receiver. We're going to get Purdy getting this thing out in space. Now watch Trent Williams run this fast and just take somebody's soul.
Oh, no.
You guys ready for this?
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
There we go. Get back up. There we go.
He does get back up, to his credit, which is incredible. But, I mean, you know what that clip looks like? You guys ever seen the movie Rudy?
Oh, yeah.
No, what's that
Remember when the
about?
tackle comes down the line of scrimmage and just keeps taking out Rudy?
Yep.
That's what this clip looks like.
I'm
This is
playing
a
defensive end for
National
Purdue.
Football League game that you're watching two professional athletes. That's unbelievable.
Oh.
Run it from the beginning, Pat. Very beginning. Does he like flash his hands at this DN
Yes.
real
Quick
quick? to
little
get him
flash,
to
right?
Stutter? Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it right out of the stance.
Yeah.
Watch him
Hands come
flash.
up. Boom.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
kidding.
Look like a little thriller.
Yeah, like, oh, here, I'm going to block you, bud.
Just to get him to hesitate just a second. That's all you need. Get him to hesitate just a second.
And then Zero's thinking, thank God he's not blocking me.
And then two's
Killed my
thinking,
brother.
oh, damn.
Yeah.
Hey, a great job by that DB out there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Got
Held
popped
the
right
edge,
up.
number one, held the edge, got the tackle.
Good
Great work, too.
Good work, AQ. Way to go, pal. Proud of you, man. All right.
Hi, baby. Huge.
Well, that's a packed Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow, won't we?
Yeah, we will.
Tomorrow we got a Thursday night football game to chat about with the Giants and the Niners. That
Yep.
should be fantastic. AQ, you did a great job, AQ.
Hi, baby.
Hi, baby. Huge.
As did JJ Watt, Chris Carter, and Jason Kelsey led off the show. You should watch his doc. It's
Yes.
really good. It's really, really good. Tonight's a good night to watch it because,
Highly recommend.
Nothing on.
No football.
Tuesday, Wednesday nights have become,
Oh, yeah.
this is sleep night.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
8 p.m.
It is awesome. What I would recommend for you, though,
Yeah.
why don't we take a little Pepto-Bismol at it?
Ooh, I wish that helped. I do.
Oh, we're past that?
Oh, yeah. Pepto-Bismol ain't doing shit.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's get the hell out of here. We will see you all tomorrow. We got a big one coming.
Huge.
A big one coming. And we can't thank you enough for allowing us to be a part of your every single afternoon, morning, or evening, wherever the hell you're watching. We hope to be a mental vacation. And with that being said,
Got it.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Fuck
did.
retweet this post and say something nice to somebody, and also put the easiest way to pay you, and 20 people will win $500 on this beautiful Wednesday. You all are the greatest. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Goodbye.